Hello PUBG Esports fans. The Pick'em Challenge is back, and just in time for PUBG Continental Series 2, with some new improvements to make earning those great rewards even easier. That's right, starting with Pcs2, we've extended the Pick'em Challenge event and increased the number of matches, allowing you more time and opportunities to collect the points you need to earn awesome, unique rewards. You'll also be able to earn more free voting coupons than before, while having opportunities to earn esports points just by watching our live PCS2 broadcasts. The PCS2 Pick'em Challenge takes place from August 19th to September 8th for PC fans, and August 27th to September 8th for fans on console. During this time, you can check out real-time tournament standings, information on participating teams, and player stats in the esports tab in-game. After PCS2 finishes, you'll be able to spend your earned EP in the esports shop from September 15th until the 23rd. The shop is filled with exclusive PCS2 themed skins you can't get anywhere else, so make sure you spend your points while you can. Like before, the Pick'em Challenge is divided into two games, Pick the Winner and Team Face-Off. Pick the Winner lets you predict the overall champion from each region. You can only vote for each team once, but with a 100,000 EP prize, you're looking at up to 400k if your prediction game is on point. You'll need to use a voting coupon to cast votes for this game, which can be earned by purchasing PCS2 gear in the shop or through one of the free methods we'll talk about later. 25% of each PCS2 item sold goes directly back to the teams via evenly distributed direct payments and by bolstering the regional tournament prize pools, so you're getting cool stuff, increasing your odds to win even more cool stuff, and helping your favorite PUBG esports teams in the process. Team Face-Off is a game where you predict which of two teams will perform better in an upcoming matchup, and plays a little differently than PCS1. It's still a free game that doesn't require any voting coupons, but EP prizes will not be weighted based on how many votes each team has gotten. So it's up to you where to risk and where to play safe. Catching the intense PCS2 action live is its own reward, but you can also increase your Pick'em Challenge odds by watching live. Just like PCS1, codes will periodically show up on screen during the broadcast. Enter these in-game quickly, as only a certain number of people can claim each one. We'll also be giving out coupons and EP on Twitch through Twitch Drops. Twitch Drops are currently only available for Steam accounts and can only be acquired by watching on Twitch. To participate, make sure your Twitch, Steam, and PUBG accounts are all linked. You can get started easily by visiting accounts.pubg.com and logging in or creating your PUBG account if you haven't already. From here, you'll have easy access to link your accounts. Once linked, you can earn one free voting coupon and up to 20,000 EP just by spending time watching the PCS2 action live on Twitch. During the stream, you'll also be able to participate in quizzes that randomly appear on the official twitch.tv/PUBG channel. Answer correctly, get rewarded. PCS2 is happening soon, so familiarize yourself with the teams and plan out your strategy. All 4 PUBG regions are participating, and you can vote on them all. The more you watch, the better your odds of scoring unique skins for your own matches. PUBG Esports, PCS2, and the Pick'em Challenge. Get in on the action today.
From the future ค่อยๆตะล่อมเข้ามานะฮะแบบนี้ค่อยๆตะล่อมเข้ามาแต่ว่าเลยไปไกลมาแล้วตรงนี้จัดไป2น็อกเข้ามาแล้วชาร์จเข้ามาจังหวะที่2คนนั้นโยชิเปบุรีเก็บเรียบอีส
这一来了 GXA 正反面都有敌人，腹背受敌，很难受啊！这波想救人，龙斯哥直接扔火，压制位置，这个火能烧到吗？烧到了，刚起身又倒地一个，硬救吗？这波硬救啊！这波硬救想要争取时间，但龙斯哥在平地上被发现了，不良利用一个视野差起身，扶起的同时瞬间秒掉一个。
淘汰了，有机会的，这波如果
直接拉下听到你人投掷我拉过来硬打有了 ，IFTY 这一把24个淘汰拿下这一局。
Expecting maybe Leventus tries to.
Oh no! Hello.
No, that is big. That is absolute big.
팀원 쪽으로 사격을 옆으로 가야 되는데 그냥 들어가서 싸우자는 거예요. 싸우자 한번. 자 위에서 지금 잡아주네요. 자 내리고 스타로드. 와. 자 헬리과 스타로드. 박살내고 있어요. 잘 버텼는데요.
looking for some angle here onto Zenith.
using up quite a bit of utilities. We've seen smokes and flashes come back out. Guab can't find him just on the other side of the car. He's going to peek around a little bit lower. There he goes, finds them underneath. Gets a knock. Guabi gets later. Roth and Kickstart, 3 players down. Looks to flush it out, but Simply Matt picks up Mystery in the end.
Split of Team Liquid here. Beats up, still on the Invisibles. Not going to land too much damage again for initially, and Navi may get away scot-free. Gene already said, oh, Kenya! Everybody back up on top of him. Look at that, Rich.
Hi, we are back again with Weekly PCS. On August 27th, the PUBG Continental Series 2 has kicked off. Here's the rundown of the first week of PCS2. Take a look at what happened in all 4 regions and participate in the Pick'em Challenge event. Let's take a look at Asia first. In the first week, the intense rivalry between T1, Infantry, and Tiamba Esports stood out. First, T1 started off by winning a 14-kill chicken dinner on the very first match and showed a very strong performance throughout the day, even though this was their first PCS event. The new in-game leader, Starlord, seemed to fit well with T1. On the second day, the Chinese teams were relatively strong, but Rex, the youngest player, won the super tense 1v1v1 fight in the first match, showing strategic movement, but with precise accuracy, and granted the chicken dinner to the team. I bet most of the fans were shouting for Rex here. Tiamba has been a steady performance since the PCS Charity Showdown. They are not as explosive as back then, but they are still one of the strongest teams from China. They do have their style, playing in the outside of the circle but squeezing in at the perfect time with their team compatibility. The defending champions, Infantry, finished at the top in the first week. They always survive until the later phases and get all those placement points, but this team knows how to fight when they need to. They've won 24 kills chicken dinner in the second match of day 2. Before this match, they were in second place, but 34 points were enough to make them first. Led by Longscar, Infantry is indeed one of the strongest teams in Asia with both stability and compatibility. Will there be a team that can stop them? In North America, a lot of fans expected that Shoot2Kill would dominate. However, the competition was fierce. Fabled won the very first match with 13 kills. They've also won the first match on PCS1 too. Last time, they couldn't bring that form until the end of the competition. Now that we have 3 weeks of matches, we'll have to see if they can maintain their form this time. It's also interesting that the in-game leader for this team is a female player. Go Hella! We should definitely talk about Sonics. Finished first in the first week. Tiggleton did make a grand comeback. He ranked first in North America Peps Plus stats in the first week. It's been a while since he played in the pro scene, but he used to be one of the best players in MPL. There's no loading times for him. Oath, who won the PCS Charity Showdown, finished second with a stable performance as always. We could see how explosive they were on match 2 of the second day, where they won a 16-kill chicken against Sonics. This match was really exciting. However, Shoot2Kill, the defending champions who showed overwhelming performance in the group stage, showed a slowdown. The team got the most votes as soon as Pick'em Challenge opened. We should see how they climb up the scoreboard for 2 weeks. Unlike the last PCS1, when Q-Confirm dominated for whole matches, the scoreboard during PCS2 fluctuated a lot in APAC. In the first match, Division X Gaming, the former PCS Charity Showdown champion, seemed to get off to a good start with the first chicken dinner, but were immediately chased down by the other teams. Daytrade Gaming from Thailand, who participated in all PCS events, took the lead with the 20 kills chicken dinner in match 2, but soon after, Battle Arena Elites and Divine took 17 and 15 kills chicken respectively. On the second day, Divine, the Vietnamese top dog who participated in PGC 2019, was on track to dominate. They took the lead by 18 points. With the new player, Dion, fragging out in his first global event, will Divine reenact 2019 when they dominated Vietnam? We really have to keep our eyes on Battle Arena Elites from PSMS. They've pumped up their roster by adding Flood and Sophia. Both players have a lot of experience in global competitions, and this team has the potential to win it all. OC's Pride. Fury also ranked 3rd in the first week. They haven't won any matches yet, but they don't go to the lobby early. They stacked up placement points and are showing that OC still has great potential. Europe is again showing very severe competition. On the first day, FaceClan finished first by earning placement points, but they were only 1 point ahead from Omakin Sports and ENTS. On the second day, the top 3 teams struggled a bit, and Navi and Shift W turned their performance around, reversing their rankings. So Navi finished first in the first week. They climbed up 4 ranks in the last 2 matches, earning 30 crucial points. From the group stage, they seem to be becoming an icon of reversal. We'll have to wait and see if they can keep up with this momentum. Shift W, who finished second, may be an unfamiliar team. Shift W won the PCS2 tickets from the Euro West Open qualifier. This team seems like they're rookies together, but why are they so good? There are 2 players who participated in PUBG Nations Cups 2019 as representatives of Germany. They ranked 5th. With these players, they do have the potential to stand out among the traditional teams. The score gap between the 1st place and 16th place is only about 50 points, so it's still anyone's game in Europe. Stay tuned until the end and check out which team will become the champion. PCS2 will be back on September 3rd with PCS2 Asia Day 3. Next week, the Pick'em Challenge closes on September 8th, so make sure you watch the second week of PCS2 and participate in the Pick'em Challenge and succeed in predicting the winner. We'll be back with the next weekly PCS. Bye!
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for day number 4 here of the PCS2 APAC competition. And we're going to be in store for quite a bit of action here as we enter our second half of the tournament. And joining me is going to be Gideon Q, and I'm Play of the J. We'll be your casters for this evening and looking forward to bringing you all the action. Gideon, how are you doing, man?
Hey, Jay, I know you've been giving me a really sick opening, but I can't hear any of that. It looks like some of my settings are wrong. So I'm going to be throwing it over to you for now at this point in time. I'm not entirely sure that I can hear anything or whether you can hear me at all. So please hold on for a second while I deal with that. Thank you very much.
All right, no problem there. And yeah, do excuse for the technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. But in any case, we have got quite a show in store for all of you today. Of course, we did see some scintillating action in another 4 rounds that took place yesterday. And we're going to be actually having another 4 rounds taking place today, in which we'll be seeing whether or not any of these teams can continue to catch on from Divine. And I do believe that Gideon has managed to get everything in order, and we are A-OK.
Yeah, thanks, Jay, for holding up. And yeah, as you did mention, I mean, some of these teams have been doing consistently well, and other teams just struggling to get to that top spot. And I mean, right now we're already in day 4 in itself. So these teams, especially in that middle bracket, want to kind of jump up, but especially for top 3, getting that top spot, number 1, looks like it's going to be a lot harder to take down Divinity than it is.
Oh yeah, and with Divine playing as well as they are, you know, it's going to be quite the tall order. And yesterday in day number 3, we saw a little bit of stumbling from the chasing pack, and from a 20-point lead, it grew into a 45-1. So that kind of tells the story here. Previously, we had Battle Arena Elites only 20 points distance within touching distance of Divine, but kind of fell short. And now other teams have risen to the challenge.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, I mean, in terms of just the point gap in itself, Fury is only 5 points away, 5 points away from Division. BAE again 10 points away from Division as well, and this literally could change in just one game. One good game for either one of these teams could be shooting them over to the second place spot and maybe closing that distance with Divine. But I don't know. What are some of your predictions here today? Do you think some of these teams are ready to actually go be aggressive, play a little bit out of their comfort zone?
Oh, I think we might be able to see some of these teams, you know, starting to, you know, try and shake off the shackles of being a little bit uncertain of themselves, you know, just because we've entered the second half. You know, if you're not going to get points now, when are you going to get them? And I think in the case of maybe those teams that fell off a bit yesterday, you know, they might be bouncing back today, because let's not forget the way that this tournament structure, we had three consecutive weekends, you know, so after the first weekend, everyone else is going to be able to go back, redo their strategizing, and also account for the changes that they see. As you can see here, we're about to have our second weekend of the competition, and now with the adjustments that we might have seen yesterday, that's going to lead into counter adjustments in today, I do believe.
Are we expecting to see, you know, different teams actually trying to contest certain spots on the map, especially for Erangel, because I don't personally like Miramar, so let's keep the Erangel for now. But do you expect some of them to actually change their usual drop spots in hopes to actually take out some of these teams early on first drop?
I think these teams, they kind of settled into their groove. They're not really trying to go too far away from what they're accustomed to. So I think they're all focused on the mid and the late game. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is what is at stake for all of these teams: $200,000 prize pool, supplemented by 12.5% of the in-game sales of the PCS2 skins. So make sure that you do get some of those skins and contribute back to esports.
And not to mention, these are the previous winners of days 1, 2, and 3. You can see each of the games and each of them in the previous stream. So please check that out, because some of them, we've got some great moments in them.
Oh yeah, terrific ones. And we got another couple rounds of Erangel and Miramar to boot here. And I think you're all well aware of our point system. So only 10 points for chicken dinner, but you still get 1 point per kill. So I guess you can kind of see that, yeah, you can't just, you know, snake your way to victory in a way. And overall leaderboard, Divine looking stupendous at the top.
Yeah, they're looking real strong, of course, especially with the amount of kill points that they have to their placement points. They found that nice little balance there. But let's talk about some of the other teams that are below the top three, because they're the ones looking to actually catch up or at least, overtake people in the top three themselves. Battle Arena Elites, Division, even Day Trade Gaming are not too far behind. Well, Day Trade Gaming might be, the furthest in this section, but, MSC, Battle Arena Elites, and Division have a very good opportunity to flip this over.
Oh, by golly, they do. And I think Day Trade, they were the leaders for quite some time after they managed to get a 30-point game in day number 1. But we'll see if they can turn things up here. Noreen's, of course, they're weighing in quite substantially with the overall damage. Now, he's not been going to sleep despite his team maybe not performing on all cylinders since said lead. But in second place, Dian really weighing in for Divine, contributing substantially. There's also going to be Turtle from Divine featuring in that 5th spot. And Fury Australia are going to have Yikikamu going to be contributing substantially, 3,927. Oof. And Victim Rise, even though this is a team that's in 11th position at the moment, Genfos here just really doing a solid bit of work, and it really pays credence to the kind of style that Victim Rise are playing. They're just very aggressive and not giving respect to other teams.
Yeah, and I definitely like, teams who don't like to force people into making bad plays rather than to sticking to their guns, looking to force adaptability on the fly to a lot of these. But in our top 5 here, we are looking for that kill count for the people who make the most out of their weapons here. We've Divine taking 3 of those spots with Levi's, Dian, as well as Jay, and they've overall been performing super well with 24, 22, and 19 kills respectively.
Yeah, quite the haul from all of these guys, and I guess we would expect to see quite a significant representation from Divine here, just by how many kills that they're currently leading the pack with. So we'll see if they're going to garner any more here. So far, they don't look as though that they're slowing down. They started slow yesterday, but they still managed to pick up at the end of it.
Yeah, they really picked up the pace at the end. And I mean, like, you can tell by the points alone that they are clearly above everybody else at this point in time. And until we start getting into the game, I'm pretty sure some of these teams are hungry to take them out.
Oh, yeah, and not sure if maybe this is bringing up as a bad omen to Divine now. Of course, in 2019, in general, we did see them a little bit more dominant than they have been in 2020. Of course, this competition has kind of bucked the trend in a way. But when we look at last year, if they weren't winning it, they were taking a substantial lead and then losing it. So it's either way, so they were always getting some decent points on the board. It's just whether or not they could be consistent about it. And we'll hopefully see Divine come back to their 2019 best here. So that's everything to still see how it plays out.
Yeah, and I kind of want to talk about MSC currently, because I know they're a team that I've been kind of looking at, and it's like they're coming out really strong. I'm expecting them to be like, these guys, they're looking good. They look good in their own region. But why so when moving up to the APAC level, it doesn't feel like things are clicking. What's going on with them?
Oh, I mean, right now, MSC Theathon, I mean, they're doing a lot better than how they did in PCS1. And to those who are not aware, they've actually qualified as the champion from the Thailand series, both the most recent one and the one before that, for these 2 competitions at the APAC level. And it's been a bit lackluster, to say the least, but I do believe that, in this particular PCS2, 6th place for MSC Theathon, we saw them get 2 chicken dinners a little bit more convincingly to close out yesterday's competition as well. So they could be doing a bit better, but I don't know, it could be a meta thing, perhaps?
And that's actually what I really wanted to get into. I thought it was like, maybe it was their play style. Maybe it was something that just wasn't making sense. But I just feel like they just needed to get a good feel of how everybody else played to really start elevating themselves in what they do best. And after yesterday, it's a little bit more convincing. I'm just not sure, whether some of these better teams are also going to start adapting to try and make sure that, they don't get too many kill points early on and then look to hold them out throughout the mid and later games.
Yeah, and all these teams have to definitely be quite progressive with their adaptability here. Otherwise, they're really going to be suffering one. And, MC Theathon, even though this is their 2nd time here, they are definitely looking a lot better. They have got a bit of experience on their squad from previous Thai teams that have performed at the Southeast Asia or APAC level. But we know it is a grind to get up to that high level of competitiveness here, and we'll see whether or not they can do it today. We're heading into our very first match. We're going to be starting the day with Erangel, and we're already seeing have quite a few teams dropping out as we're having the flight path all the way from Hospital down to Milta.
Yeah, and so far, I mean, it's a very neutral flight path here. It's going to get a good, easy spread for everybody to get their own little nook on the map. The question is really, how are they going to start rotating? Where is the first circle going to be? Just so that we have a better idea of where these teams are going to be rotating. Because a lot of these teams, if the circle is just a little unfair to them, you definitely know that you're going to get gatekeeped or at some point lose a member in the process.
Yeah, and I think we've seen some very interesting rotations coming out from teams. They definitely know how to prioritize the kind of flight path relative to the circle and how many teams could be in there already, just based on the kind of drop locations and where these teams like to go. So already we're seeing here, this might be an early altercation, and it's going to be Astra dropping here through Zoidmate, and he's actually going to be very close to Sulabi here as actually going to be jostling a bit for the vehicle, but I think Sulabi kind of knew that he wasn't going to get it in time.
Yeah, he quickly goes down, quickly trying to make that transition into Razok to hopefully get some loot before Magic starts gunning them down. So they've got to make it quick and start playing for cover here. But now they're going to get taken down a little earlier than they should. Luckily, no picks just yet.
Oh yeah, well, I think looking at this zone, it is going to be quite neutral for most of the teams, especially Magic Esports, so they can be thanking their lucky stars that they don't really need too much in the way of rotation hardware. But I think for other teams, of course, it's definitely going to play a factor. But I think given the kind of locations that we see for these further drop teams like Buriram United, they always drop at Milta Power, Fury Australia, they're always dropping at Sosnovka Military Base. They're going to factor all this pretty much into their plan.
Yep, and you know, military place as well as Malta, two very easy places to cut people off from the bridge. Make sure that you completely negate them from transitioning over unless they have vehicles, and even then, it could just be a death sentence just trying to transition out of military base if you are from Malta Power. However, I do want to say about in terms of adaptation, how a lot of teams, like, instead of looking for these narrow choke points, they look to play for position and hold that mid game here. And I personally feel like a lot of these teams are really nasty at holding their own when it comes to just the simple advantage of high to low. Like, it might be a very simple thing for people, a simple concept that, you know, having the high ground, making sure your hitbox is small is great. But a lot of these teams really take full efficiency of it, not allowing people to even not allowing teams to even move close towards the inner circle for the most part of the game.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And honestly, when we were talking about earlier on with the point system and positioning coming hand in hand with the kills, I mean, that is no coincidence. These teams are experts at making sure that they can capitalize on advantageous positions. We've seen a lot of successful Thai teams in the past, always been able to garner a lot of the positive results and performances based on that fact. They will definitely run away from those areas where it's definitely not going to be working out for them, and fully punish other teams where it does.
Yeah, and so far, I mean, the looting phase is still going on. Everybody's looking for their attachments, looking for their equipment, making sure that if they want to stick to their game plan, they have a convoy. If not, looking for whatever they can get. But looks like there's going to be a little bit of an altercation between our two teams here. MSC and VTR making sure that they are holding their ground. I can't see where the rest of our team is just yet, but they are just playing the creeping game.
Oh yeah, I think they're going to be somewhere else. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a code on your screen. So if you do not know the drill yet, please go in-game in PUBG and redeem the code as soon as you can in the gift redemption code. But now, coming back to the game, Kamal's here, going to prime the nade here. Might be able to catch them, but the two MSC Therathon players are coming in through here. But Kamal, he's going to get both of them. And wow, what a play coming out here from Victim Rise player MC Therathon. Oh, they're going to be really kicking themselves for that one.
Yeah, they've got to be so upset because we even saw from from Kamal's perspective that he actually used a couple of shots on the body to try and finish it off before he realized that the second person was already peeking him at the same time. So, ooh, he really lived there with just a sliver of health. It's got to be so frustrating in a 2v1 situation.
And his Victim Rise as well. You know, they always love to rub shoulders with the higher placed teams, and today is no exception. And they're going to be getting the first 2 points of the day as well. And we can see the remaining two MSC Therathon players here. Now, we were already talking about them at the start of the this game, you know, as to like whether or not their performance is getting better. And we saw that, you know, they closed out day number 3 well, but then day number 4 not starting so fantastic.
Okay, let's give them the benefit of the doubt here. I mean, they did. I can't really get out of my mind the fact that they ended yesterday really strong. So coming into this, it's a first game. They're just a little rusty. Hopefully they start picking it up and maybe look to play for position this time round.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, maybe just a little bit of butterflies, even though we're past the halfway point. But in any case, MSC Therathon, they just need to continue getting more experience. And yeah, that could have gone either way. You're definitely playing for the trade game there, so you know that more than likely the first guy is going to go down. It's just that usually when you see this kind of play, you're going to have more people on board. So not a lot of room for error there. And Divine, they're our current leaders. They're going to be pulled up here. Just gonna convene a little bit more before they continue onwards. They are quite central already, and just gonna be waiting here for the second phase to reveal itself and see what they need to do.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the second phase is going to be. We can see KT coming out from military base's side, trying to get in towards the center of the island itself. BAE having a... Ooh, it looks like they've spotted out Divine down on the lower ground next to the structure. I'm pretty sure that the earlier shots coming in from Dayan probably attracted them over.
Oh, could definitely be the case. Battle Arena Elites moving in a very concerted convoy. Usually Sophia is the vanguard and quite far ahead from the rest of the team, but this time it does look like things are a bit different here. They're going to actually be trying to ingress onto the compound, and they might be able to take advantage, but Turtle, he's hightailing out of here.
Yep, he's going to be pulling back really quickly, but the rest of his team looking to transition down towards the southern side. It doesn't look like BAE is going to look to take out the vehicle just yet. Before we jump over to our next team, it looks like they're going to be playing from high to low on the hill. XS still holding strong.
Oh, they definitely have the numbers here. Norins has to be a little bit careful, but I'm not sure if he can avoid this. Looks as though they're going to spot him out. He's not even going to get a single knock there. And Goktan is going to be able to pick up a nice point there at Norins' expense.
Yep, and unfortunately that's going to be a free pickoff for them. That's going to add on to their points. However, the rest of this team need to make a decision whether they want to continue with this engagement or back away. And it looks like they are going to kind of just hold their ground for now. And Day Trade, yep, looks like they're going to be bailing. Or looking forward and going in with the vehicle, maybe? Nah, he's going to get off.
Yeah, I think going to be a little bit ambitious there, you know, but I think they also have the game one jitters, so they're probably going to be thinking elsewhere. And especially since they're thinking back to that big game that they managed to win that took them in the lead for so many rounds, yeah, they'll definitely be looking to try and get a bit more of a solid start here.
Yep, looks like Battle Arena Elites are going to be shooing off KT to make sure that they don't get anywhere close towards the town that they are. They've got a really nice spread here. I mean, just looking at the landscape, they've got some decent high ground for themselves. They have plenty of structures to kind of run from cover to cover in case they get hard pushed by one of these convoys. BAE's got a really good position.
Oh yeah, and they'll be looking to try and take advantage of that, and they're just trying to find their footing as well. They didn't have a good day number 3, and usually they play better on Erangel, so they definitely want to start the day on a better note, you know, just to carry the momentum forward later on, as yeah, they were really rubbing shoulders with Divine in week number 1, so yeah, hopefully they can actually reproduce some of the form that we were able to see then.
I'm sure, you know, later today they'll probably, you know, maybe get a chicken winner in towards the second day, or maybe even now. Let's just see how rusty they are, or, you know, those first game jitters can be shaken off as we look into the next circle here, going to be more towards the center of the entirety of the map, and it's already a cluster. Everybody isn't really looking to get to fully engage just yet, and I think worst of all, thirds are going to be coming from every different angle here in this next circle.
Yeah, I know the map is zoomed out, but it looks claustrophobic here. But Noradra, he's going to be able to take down Sophia. And yeah, BAE maybe getting a little bit lax here in investigating certain compounds. Noradra is actually taking a little bit of damage there, but it's done far a lot more to the likes of BAE.
And it looks like BAE they already have the back structures down. They just need to prevent Buriram from actually pushing forward towards their compounds. There isn't a lot of cover for BRU to play from, so they have to sit back, having their DMRs at the ready to try and hopefully get a pick off before fully engaging.
Yeah, and I think they're not enticed by the possibility of losing another player, so BAE definitely going to be holding the fort here for the time being. But yeah, look at the angles that Buriram is starting to open up. They're already having Eddie all the way on that southeastern side, so could offer some more angles should BAE get a little bit too overzealous.
Yeah, and I think more importantly, they have to be worried about teams like coming in from the back. So they have 2 in the front, making sure that they're looking for picks, constantly harassing, looking for the peppers, and 2 in the back just to ensure that any back flanks or any pot shots taken will be recognized straight away. Ooh, Astra already looking to try to get some picks off from no cover whatsoever. They are just going to be running down the hills in hopes to getting to the rest of their team and regroup behind, dropping some utility before they hop into their vehicles and look to make a break for it.
Yeah, and right now they are making a mad dash for it, and luckily the smoke's going to be there, allowing them to get out from that very stationary position. Zoidme and Nikos here just not relenting at all. They want to try and connect whatever they can onto the Victim Rise players, but so far they're going to be able to jet away from here as they continue to look for a little bit more of a solid spot. They're already quite central in the zone. Might be a little bit ambitious should they go for a lot of these compounds, which are going to invariably be occupied already.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's kind of the problem. Most teams, the most that they've gotten so far, and the most losses is MSC. They've only lost two of their players. However, a majority of the squads are still pretty healthy, still holding on to their structures, and it's only going to get more intense from here on out. Like, once it starts dwindling down to the top 10 teams before the phase 3, I mean, that's when you're not too worried about getting thirded. But as of right now, holding your position seems to be the best bet.
Yeah, and currently holding the position is going to be Astra. They have a little bit of a 2-2 split going on here. Of course, Zoidme and Nikos doing what they can. They're starting to disable the vehicles there from Victim Rise. I'm not sure why they're currently sitting a little bit too exposed. Maybe a little bit of a mistake there. And now one of the players is going to be trapped a little bit here. And getting spotted out by Zoidme, not a good thing. Definitely going to be attracting a little bit more attention than he would have liked.
Yeah, and so far, I mean, they're going to continue the suppressive fire, making sure that they can't really move out of their position. And I think at this point in time, you can already see in the distance that everybody's within range to actually take pot shots if they want to. They're just waiting for somebody to make the first move, waiting for somebody to fully engage so they can get those free points. And as you can see, like, down by the bottom, MSC still playing for position with only 2 members, making it into the circle, but no one is really looking to gatekeep at this point in time, especially when you have some hot contested areas like Pochinki, like Razak.
Oh yeah, and oh man, look at it. It's just continuing to be absolutely crowded right now, and really there's just not a lot of space. This is already going to force a lot of these late rotators to get inside the zone. Kaiser Tuna still well outside. Is Archangel Predator all the way on the Ruins angle, so it's going to have to be some further ingression here into the circle if they really want to try and book their places into the mid and late game.
I'm honestly starting to get frustrated with the amount of teams who still have a lot of all of their members, all of their squad mates still alive. I thought by now, with the circle starting to get really closed in and a lot of people having a good foothold, that picks are going to become more obvious as well. But so far, everybody seems to be making it away.
Yeah, everyone's allergic to lead right now, and they are really trying to stay as far apart. But now Astra moving right close in here to Divine, but Divine's going to get the first knock here in the fight. It's going to be Zoidme, and Nico's going down. Turtle's going to get refragged, though, by Extreme. But now, looks like there's going to get down another player. There's only going to be one Astra player who can weigh in, and he's not going to be doing much except weighing down the Morgue, and that's going to be all 4 members getting eliminated in the quick fashion there. But Turtle, he's going to be biting the dust as well.
Yeah, and that's not going to be the end of it. Even though they still have one straggler left, we're having another scuffle here between these teams, DXG as well as CES, just holding on. And finally, we jump back over to DV as they look to try and take MSC out one by himself. And Divine not looking in the greatest of positions, but he has to get those picks. He secures a kill, runs back down, and hopefully to kind of just regroup with the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, I think Divine is not going to care too much about making a little bit of noise here. This is kind of how yesterday started, even though they didn't get too far into the game. But now look at how crowded it is. Division X Gaming is going to be really up close here with Cerberus. Cerberus is going for a full sweep around the sides here. Long K and MBK already going to be down for the count here. Fergus and Neil trying to do what they can. Neil not able to land the shots, and Smell is going to get the headshot onto him. There's only going to be Fergus left. He's actually going to have to back out a little bit further away from this engagement, and he's going to be hunkering down here likely for the rest of the game.
Yeah, talk about caster's curse, and here I was complaining, oh, there's not enough picks going on, and all hell breaks loose literally right after I finished that sentence.
Ta-da! And you're well obliged here. Yeah, so I think we saw, what, 11 players all expire in that quick short window of time?
Yep, and that wasn't it. I mean, it was 2 fights going on at the exact same time, and now we're looking at Fury trying to get this initial pick out. Doesn't land the shots, but the utility has been expanded, and that's already going to be a valuable resource being depleted here as Fury playing it slowly, waiting for the opportunity to secure these kills.
Oh, I think MSC Theathon finally getting eliminated here from the game is going to be Neferhor getting in on that one. So it looks like we're already 2 teams short of our full lobby. But looking at this zone, it's going to have to prompt Buriram United and Kaisertuna to haul some ass here if they want to try and get into a better spot ASAP. But I think from the future and BAE, they got some distance as well to go through, especially when you got an obstacle in the form of Divine Esports right in your path.
And right now, I think prime positions are going to be, the bottom left and top right, where they have, either high ground or structures to their advantage. And I can't remember which squad was sitting in Pochinki at that point in time, but they basically have a full sweep of the area. And now the killing floor is right out in the open, as DXG just has to play around their vehicle in hopes to not get shot from any angle whatsoever. He is covered in 3 different places.
Yeah, Fergus just trying to do whatever he can. Game home, even though they're going to be stuck in Pochinki, and usually you don't want to be stuck in real urban areas, is going to be a godsend. But look at the shot popping out from Fergus.
He connects the 2 so far, but he's not done just yet. They're trying to secure this kill as he runs around, and finally he gets 1. Yes, Lothar quickly in case his teammates deployed right behind him. The vehicle does explode. That's going to be a little bit of his cover taken away. He quickly goes prone to try and keep his hitbox small, but he's got to be dropping his utility to hopefully cover the other angles.
I know I said Kaisertuna have to move in fast, but not that fast. But now we're going to have problems here. Cerberus moving into Game Home. Game Home, though, is going to be able to repel the first wave of attackers. And now they've all started congregating here. Basil is starting to move in. He's taking quite a bit of damage. Sorry, it's going to be Smell. But he's not going to be able to do anything against something else here. And Subang is going to continue to crawl on all 4s as this engagement is definitely going in the favor of Game Home. But, oh no, God knew is going to bleed out.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. He had just cleaned up that fight. He didn't have to worry about anybody else covering to shooting him in the back to revive his friend. And the only problem was that he had to bleed out right there, right then, just as they made eye contact. Unfortunate situation, but now let's look at the gatekeeping.
Oh yeah, gatekeeping indeed here. Looking like Levi's doing the work here, but he's not getting the trade. He takes down 2, though, from the future. He's going to be able to get him, but Jen here coming out huge.
Oh, all right. Jen definitely just saved Levi's right there. No doubt about it. Comes out of the car, superhero, flying through. But that's not going to be the end of it just yet, because that's not the only team looking to take them out. Buriram United as well as BAE coming in from the same angle. Not looking too great, but they have to kind of just hold this low ground and make sure that they don't peek out too hard in hopes that both of the teams will try and collide against each other.
And BAE, they're moving in here. They want to try and claim some relatively easy points, or just at least get back to killing ways here. But now they are going to be holding up here. Levi's going back down to Sulabi this time, as Magic getting in some third-party action, but Loki's trying to mow them down at distance.
So far, it's kind of working out. Levi's finally is taken out, and that's gonna be the last member of Divine just saying, nope, I don't want to be part of this no more. I'm gonna take the biggest vehicle I can get, the most hit points, and start running before he gets shot out. 17 HP left. Can he make it through this killing floor?
Oh man, I don't even know where he's going to end up even if he does survive. He's just waiting for someone to kill him. Oh, looks like he is actually going to make it here to the bunker entrance, and that's going to be a nice bit of hard cover for him to work with, as Circle's going to be shifting away here for Pochinki, so that's going to be to the detriment of Game Home, but they don't have a lot of obstacles in the way. But all the teams on the northern side, it's going to be really difficult for them.
Yeah, it's going to be super difficult for them to get. But looking down at Fury here, it looks like they have a little bit of a scuffle themselves, trying to take out that last member of XS, making sure that once they are down, they pretty much could translate to any position within the next circle if they wanted to. So, kudos to them for having a really good position.
Oh yeah, and just as you mentioned it, they do manage to wipe out X Stadium, so they're going to be down for the count, as they're going to control on that farmhouse side. And now we're seeing Buriram United, they are pretty much having the whole of this eastern side to themselves. They're going to be looking to put pressure here on the battle arena, at least currently on that lower ground. And this is exactly what we were talking about earlier, trying to take advantage of the kind of high ground positioning that you're going to be exposed to. But right now, they're, again, just trying to be a little bit wary. They don't know if someone is just going to be over yonder compounder on that western side.
And I definitely like what they're doing here, where they're having 3 of their members like looking down towards BAE's side, while they're still having 1 on the high ground, making sure that they're covering the rest of their flank, just in case anybody tries to go for a hard push or looks to transition to, just for the information for the kill squad right up front to turn at any moment's notice.
Yeah, quite right on that one. But now looks like Battle Arena Elite, they're making small leaps here. I think they spotted out Magic Esports, so they're not going to be too ambitious trying to get into the circle even by such a greater margin. Noradra and the rest of Bariram United going to reposition slightly here, as they're fairly confident that not really going to have any impending danger coming out from the Malaysian squad just yet.
But the northern side it's still a war zone there. It's going slow, but they're slowly creeping up towards the structures, and eventually, I mean, now that the storm is closing in, they have no choice but to look and poke constantly from every angle. And Battle Arena Elites, they're loving this. They absolutely love this. They're looking down. It's just like, all right, this is a perfect killing floor. Let's look for picks and look to fully engage once they are weak.
Oh, player 3 has entered the game, and it's going to be Victim Rise moving into the compound. Currently, Magic Esports, they're trying to scramble around here. They're going to be able to take down Kamals, and now it does look like Victim Rise is going to be hard-pressed to try and really push in here. They already have 1 player that has managed to infiltrate the compound. Now they got 2, and they're going to be able to get the trade. 2 trades now, in fact.
Whoa! And though they wanted to gatekeep, it worked out pretty well for them as they started moving through. Buriram United started pushing into the from the east side in towards the center of the circle, but you can already see that this is not the greatest position to be in right now.
Oh, not at all, as Magic Esports does know about that. They get completely wiped there, as that push from the Indonesian team was absolutely sublime, and they're going to be able to claim quite a few points from that one here. Battle Arena Elite, though, not going to give them any moment of respite there, and the nade from Flood here, not actually going to take him out. I'm pretty certain that was right on top of him. Flood still trying to confirm the final kill. He already has the first knock, and looks like he's actually going to just creep outside and deny the points here, so Victim Rise is going to be out.
Okay, at least they got the point denial. Is better than giving it over. That's fair enough. Oh, but these nade wars coming in from AAP as well as GH is just going to continue on. BAE is in the back. They know something's going on here. They are taking a couple of shots, but there's literally nothing both of these teams can really do except to focus on each other and look to play the jiggle peeking game.
Oh yeah, and this really narrow avenue here is being devastating for both teams. They're taking trades on either side. Glory is going down here, and Momonji at the same time. So now Archangel Predator, they're going to be in a little bit worse for wear here, especially when they're getting shot in the back there by Neferhor. He's going to finish off CJ, and now we're only with our top 5 teams. Game Home trying to desperately reset this fight here as the Malaysian squad starting to push in here with all these nades.
I mean, they're looking to push in pretty hard. Oh no, they have to slowly back. The grenades are coming back at them as well. They've got to be so careful as the first aid kit is coming out before they're looking to try and take this high ground from both of these teams. The smokes are coming out pretty smart. They're making sure that they're smoking both low and high, just to ensure that they really narrow down the angles and really low down their field of vision.
Well, right now they are preempting the circle movement, which is starting to corral them up the hill. They've already got some smokes to obscure a little bit of the vision. Loki's, again, still trying to see whether or not they're going to be directly aggressive or not. It's a 3v3 fight here, so anything can happen. Currently, Loki's going to have to transition around the bunker's entrance here, and that might leave his teammates a little bit short pressed here, but he's actually taking a lot more fire.
Yep, he's trying to poke as much as he can. The harass is going through. The peppering is so important. He couldn't finish off that kill. 1 more HP. Yes, there we go. 2 bullets to take him down, and now he's going to retreat back. They know that one of their teammates is down, and unfortunately, it's either putting them in a position where they have to decide, do I go for the save, or do I make sure I get out of this storm? And everybody knows you just gotta let him rot. You gotta leave him behind. You gotta play for that position.
Oh yeah, Clary's the only person left here for Game Home, and he's just legging it here. He doesn't want to stick by any longer, but Battle Arena Elites, they're going to come out from that the better, as they're going to be having the superior numbers to work with. But again, it's still going to be quite a tall task. They only have 2 players left here at the moment. Currently, Day Trade, they have got that central positioning here. Buriram United, they got the full squad to work with, and they'll be licking their lips in anticipation of finishing out this game strong.
Yeah, they're looking to really just take this away, and they're going to continue on. Ooh, getting a pick as well onto Fury's Ronan. That's going to be a super unfortunate turn of events, especially for Fury, because they were doing really, really well in the earlier stages of the game. They were taking people out. They had no problems clearing squads, gatekeeping them from the southern side, and just the southern and eastern sides of this map really had the best position in terms of the circle luck, in terms of just where everybody was spread.
Yeah, absolutely. And but now it looks like with that high ground advantage, Buriram United is making it a living hell here for the Oceanic team to really just try and press forward a little bit. They're kind of at the mercy there, but they kind of have to have a little bit of outside intervention, I feel, for them to really get out of this pickle. Currently, Day Trade, they only have a couple members in the center. No, 3 members, sorry. But that might not be in their best interest. Currently, they're not in a great position as well to fight off Buriram.
Yeah, and Buriram is really oppressive. You can see that Fury here, they really are taking the consideration. It's like, yes, we are trying to look for the poke, but we also need to transition into the circle. And their only technically safe spot is towards the western side, taking that left angle and hoping that someone takes the attention of Buriram United. In this case, it's going to be Battle Arena Elites.
Oh, Flood is moving up here, but he's spotted out by Eddie. Eddie landing a few connections there. Flood, luckily, is going to be able to heal up here. Loki's trying to give a little bit more cover fire, but now Buriram, they're going to be focusing their guns here. They don't want anyone else to be king of this hill. And that's, again, going to be something in their minds for the ultimate game plan.
Yep, as everybody's getting closer, and ooh, already Flood is going to get hit with a headshot from Juxi. Eddie looking to take out BAE here, doing a really, really good job overall. And Fury from the bottom side, just trying to clear up Day Trade. It looks like we definitely know who the powerhouses in this particular situation is going to be. But I think the biggest question is whether BAE can get at least a pick off of BRU.
Oh, yeah, and I think they're actually going to resort to just bowing out of this one here, as really want to deny the points. Loki's expires, and now it's going to be a top 3 situation here. Buriram United continuing to dominate things on the top side, but they're going to have to move down onto the low ground with their opponents, as Fury Australia doesn't want to give them the benefit of any of this territorial advantage. They're going to give them a little bit of payback, I dare say.
Yep, and hopefully if he is able to take out at least one of the members of BRU, it's going to give Day Trade a much easier time to try and close this one out, because right now their positioning is great, but they just don't have the numbers or the cover to really spread out and cover a lot of angles, especially since they don't have to really worry about the southern side for now. They can hear the shots coming in from Fury. They just need to make sure that BRU doesn't get into this circle.
Yeah, but right now there's not a lot of opposition here. Fury is not even making any moves themselves, and there's not so many angles that Day Trade can pop out and try and shoot. As they saw, Puchwis did get knocked out a little bit earlier on. Joxy here actually trying to make some inroads here into the zone, but he's taking quite a bit of fire for his troubles. Now he's going to gather quite a bit of attention from that rotation.
Yep, Fury looking to try and reclaim BRU's high ground position and just lurk around, just lurk just behind them, just to ensure that they don't actually get into full front fights, because especially in situations where there's 3 teams, somebody is going to have to pull the trigger, and nobody wants to be the person to do it.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have to really see how all the moving pieces are going to really be factoring into the final result of this game. Looks like everyone now going to be comfortably inside the zone. They don't really want to try and make any further risks here. But Day Trade, they're in a fantastic spot just because this is the final circle. So it's just going to start converging in here. So everyone else is going to be a little bit on the hot end here as the sunbed is starting to close in. But Buriram, they have got some of the players all the way on the edges, and they're going to have to be moved a little bit earlier.
Yeah, but you know, the numbers advantage is really, really nice here. The only people who are stopping Buriram from moving forward is going to be Jays. They've got some angles if they want to transition down towards the southern side. However, the same can be said with Fury. It really is a game of rock, paper, scissors. Who is going to show their cards first? Who's going to make that first move as Buriram slowly pushes in with the Storm, hoping to get a pick somewhere between Fury or Dates so they can enable themselves and have a pure numbers advantage to try and clean this game up.
Yeah, and really trying to leverage on that could definitely be the case of, for the win here. But Flash and Putris here are going to get down Joxy, and now Fury Australia in a bit of trouble. But I do think that Buriram, they will have a lot of utility still available to them. And now they're starting explosive, but God Meow is going to get picked out by Venotica, who's finally going to reprise his role as one of the better frag grenade players here in this tournament.
Oh boy, that's going to be a huge pickoff for Day Trade. And now they've also got prime position to actually take out Fury, holding him in place. If he peeks out a little bit more, yes, he gets a couple of shots down, not too bad, but he wants to get that pick, hiding behind the initial, his field of vision and line of sight is being blocked by one tree in the way. As Buriram slowly start pushing forward, they have to be careful. They've already lost a member, one's damaged, the last two need to get closer.
Oh, inside, he's going to get spotted out by Konaxi, and that's it here. But now Butris here is going to spot out Konaxi in turn, and now there's only going to be Eddie left. He's got the Graza, but he's up against the world here in the form of Day Trade, who have all three players. They're looking for their second win. They need a return to the summit here, and this could be their moment here. But it looks like it's going to still be the knock there for Eddie. He was the clutch champion for Buriram's win yesterday. Can he reprise that?
Yep, it's a 1v2 situation. He's going to keep up with his angle, playing this peeking game, looking to try and finish off the kill. He gets two. Could this be it? He's out in the open. He's trying to go for the finish here. Does he get it? Winner, chicken dinner, going over to Day Trade, and unfortunately, the clutch does not connect.
Oh, but he was so close as well. I mean, Eddie, you know, the clutch machine almost did it again. And I think if he had a longer range weapon, maybe he would be able to do it. But of course, Graza is still going to be available for some of these epic moments. But Flash finally is able to trade there for Day Trade. And they're going to get their second win here after being very dry since round number 2 on day number 1, in fact.
Yeah, and I would agree. You know, some of the other teams like that we thought were getting, you know, do they have those game one, that game one rust? They're not warmed up as much. But BAE ended up doing pretty well, even though they did lose a member eventually. They started pushing in, and yes, they are good on Erangel, and the experience really, really shows, especially when they were holding out that northern side of the map.
Oh, yeah, and I think they were, you know, standing toe-to-toe with quite a number of those teams. They managed to make sure that Victim Rise couldn't emerge from that one. Game home as well. But unfortunately, it was going to be a little bit difficult because Buriram United, they were just extending their influence everywhere. And they really just started from the hillside. And even though Circle might be like moving away from that, they stayed there as long as possible just to make sure that they continue to pile the pressure on the surrounding teams.
Well, I think, you know, during the mid-game, the circle was actually pretty favorable towards them. The spread was looking pretty good. A lot of teams either transitioned towards the northern or southern side, just allowing, as you mentioned, I quote, they basically had the entire eastern side to themselves. And with that, they took that advantage. They took that high ground, and they really started to limit the positions of the northern and southern side to try and transition in towards the eastern. So they basically took control for 3 circles at a time until finally they were forced to get pushed off of that hill.
Yeah, and definitely played that very well here, and that did translate into that second place win here. It almost resulted in getting the chicken dinner here, but they're going to have to settle for the 13 points here. Day Trade, though, back to winning ways, getting the 16 points. It's a little bit shy of their last win, where they did manage to get 30 points from that game, but I think they can't be complaining on this one here. And Battle Arena Leads, they're also back to better form here in day number 4, so the 12 points on the board going to work well for them. Fury Australia also getting double-digit points with the 10 as well.
And especially, you know, for Fury and Battle Arena Leads, these points are going to be very, very important to be jumping into that top 3 spots in the overall standings here. And I mean, it's going kind of well so far, but Divine Esports still sitting at that top spot. Buriram United really catching up on those points. If they can keep up this performance, I'm pretty sure they might be able to take them over by the end of the day.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, yeah, they just need to continue to pick up the pace here and pile the pressure onto Divine. Divine did look pretty good in some of the fight engagements that they did take in match number 1. But yeah, they're going to have to be hard-pressed to really hold the chasing pack at bay, because everyone else has managed to gain points on them. And now that's still going to be all to play for. We have now got 3 teams which have broken the 100-point barrier.
And that's gonna mean that that's gonna set the threshold for, especially, you know, the lower half and the second page teams, where it's like, we need to get to that 100-point mark threshold as quickly as possible. We need to turn this around sooner rather than later. But let's look at the top 5 damagers here from BRU's Eaddy. 662 damage within the game itself. Whew! He was making quick work with a lot of people with that DMR.
Oh yeah, and let's not forget the Graza right towards the end there, but unfortunately not enough there to take the win. Loki's and Neferhor are going to be representing for Battle Arena Elites as we're seeing a little bit more of a shake-up there. But let's take a look at the highlights and start it here with MSC Theathon.
Yep, and I mean, Victor Rose immediately, you can see he wanted to go for the last 2 shots. He sees the next one and quickly flicks on over, getting some great kills there. And I mean, that was very unfortunate for MSC because that really hurt them in the standings later on. They just didn't have the numbers or the firepower to take on or look for picks.
Yeah, and that really just limits the ability here to get points in this format. But now it looks like Kaiser Tuna just not doing it too well here in their fast rotation. A little bit risky. Jend here was going to be able to repel some of the attackers here, but I guess in the end he was going to be able to still garner a few more points. Of course, Magic Esports struggling here to repel Victim Rise as they were going to be able to have a reasonable clean sweep. They only lost 1 player in the process.
I mean, overall, that was a very ideal trade. You're securing an entire squad. Losing 1 member obviously isn't going to be the best, but considering the circumstances and the circle pushing in, yeah, definitely understandable. As we look to this next point towards the final moments here, Daytrade really just didn't want these rats to win. They saw the last 2 members of Fury. They're like, nope, we see your backs. We're not even going to let you get close. Let's put it all over to Buriram as they were trying to clutch it out towards the end.
Oh yeah, and Daytrade overall, holding to their guns, it didn't look good for quite a bit of it there. As of course we did see Buriram United continue to strut their stuff and really bully a lot of the other teams there with the sheer numbers advantage. But in the end, it was going to be Daytrade with the good positioning and able to utilize it well that was going to be able to come out on top.
Yep. And I don't know whether this performance is going to continue again. We're going to have another map of Erangel. I'm expecting around the same outcomes here. The circle is definitely going to be playing a part. However, if it's going to be the same circle, teams have got to be careful, especially in the earlier stages of the game. They can't afford to lose those picks. You lose so much power in the mid game, which really shapes how they are going to be finishing off the game at the end of the day.
Yeah, the team's definitely going to think twice before they get involved in any of these early infractions. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are done for match number 1. We're going to be having our second and final round on Erangel in just a few moments. But before that, we'll be taking a short break. So you've been listening to Gideon and Play of the Jade.
And welcome back, everybody, to the PUBG Continental Series 2 APAC region. We'd like to thank, before we go any further, our sponsors, Predator, PUBG Corporation, and Geek Friends for bringing this all together. You're here with me, getting Q, as well as Play of the J, who has been stuck with the entire PCS2 so far, and it's been great.
It's definitely been another competition that we can all really hope that we can see on a more frequent basis, and really just looking at all these teams really bringing up a notch here to really contest with the likes of Divine Esports. It's exactly what we want to be able to see here. And despite the fact that, of course, we do want to see that Divine is able to, also do their utmost, to have a really good tournament. But of course, we're definitely looking forward to seeing who else is going to be able to rise to the challenge. And so far, we've got a few contenders here on day number 4.
Yeah, I'm feeling, honestly, Buram, after that performance, looking pretty good right now at second place, just under Divine, followed up by Fury as well. And I think Fury has been slowly creeping up on a lot of these teams and looking to just yank away that top spot. I think they just need a couple more games, honestly.
Oh, yeah, I think it's definitely there. They're definitely having a much better week number 2. They had a win yesterday. They almost got the win today as well, but they did manage to garner enough points as well to, continue to put pressure at the top of the table there. Of course, Divine still has got a bit of a lead, but let's not forget, coming into this, there was a 45-point gap, and now it's starting to be cut down ever so slowly. It's 39 at the moment, but again, could be a lot worse. And Divine, not fully on all cylinders. They definitely had some good team engagements, but yeah, I think they definitely need to, of course, do a little bit more if they want to keep that lead where it is.
Yeah, and I think especially in Divine's position, if they really wanted to maintain that lead, they could play purely for just picks and just position overall. Like, they don't really need to start pushing hard to get those kills. Not like, teams like Buriram, Fury, and BAE as well, who are all looking to try and get into that top spot, trying to take number 1 away from these guys.
Yeah, exactly. And now looks like it is going to be time here to drop in for our second game of the day. Battle Arena Elites looking pretty good today compared to yesterday, but given the fact that they are very much an Erangel-based team, based on the results that we've seen so far, they kind of need to get something from here in match number 2, maybe a little bit more significant if they want to continue to keep pace. Currently, they have dropped down to that 4th position, despite being second to start week number 2. But now we could be seeing a little bit of a change, but we'll see how the teams are going to be adjusting, and we might see MSC Therathon getting into some closer altercations with Victim Rise yet again, as they seem to be dropping very close by.
And even Razok is going to be contested as well for most of these people, for those 2 squads. Buriram looking to go towards the southwestern side of the map, while I'm pretty sure that Fury is still going to be landing in their same usual spot in military base, so I don't think there's not going to be too much of a surprise there.
Oh yeah, and I think we're already going to see some contestation here for the vehicle. Looks like Gent here is going to be much faster to the vehicle than Sophia is. He decided to peel away a little bit early on, but Astra, though, they're going to be really at the receiving end there of not winning the vehicle race, and they're going to go down. But Calbs is also getting connected with 2 early road kills here just because of their little bit of a dropping prowess. And yeah, don't say that your drop technique is not important, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy, 2 very early kills. That's really going to hurt the team, especially with the circle that sucks this much, with 50% of it in the water and 50% on land. Looks like Fury, now that they've dropped, they didn't manage to get all the way to military base, but they are able to get at that choke point of the bridge. So if they can win that fight, they're in prime position because nobody is in military base. They've got an entire way to loot for themselves, and they can really just start gatekeeping people from Circle 1.
Oh, I'm pretty sure this is exactly why they always come to the island. If in the case it does come down to an island finish, then they're definitely going to be reaping the benefits there. But we'll see if that's going to happen. We did see a similar circle like this in week number 1. It did end up going towards the Ferry Pier side. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. All these teams, they're going to be lying in wait. They have to be ready for wherever it's going to be, because generally you don't get major rotations like across one of these big bridges, as Turtle is doing with relative ease right in front of me. It's something you only want to do once per game.
Yep. Oh, the rotations are coming in here, and it looks like Divine is going to be coming in from the eastern side to get into the military base section to try and hold people off from that bridge. And I don't know, depending on how this circle goes, and if we pray to the RNG gods here that the circle might be nice, hopefully we'll see, you know, a nice, good split, even split in the middle where we get a good mix of just the northern side of military base and just the southern side from the mainland.
If nothing else, I would just like that to, you know, make all these pro players scratch their heads in compounding confusion as they really just don't know how to go about their rotations and everything. And you're probably just going to get teams like maybe Fury Australia or X Stadium who are already quite central or have got some sort of positioning already. They're going to benefit more from it. But we're already seeing Kaiser Tuna already going to be following in the footsteps of Divine as they want to try and get ahead of the pack.
Yeah, and honestly, wait, hold on. KT is coming up a lot too close here. Turtle is going to hear exactly what's going on. He's going to take the first couple of shots. Oh. He gets it. 2 hits straight away with a really, really good spray through the driver's seat. Now he's going to be looking out for the rest of his buddies. The convoys are coming through, and the rest of BAE, they know exactly what's up. As KT is making a run for it to try and get into the circle, hopefully not to lose another member.
Oh, that nade almost did it here for Musate, and he's going to continue on with just a sliver of HP here. But now Turtle is going to be opening his welcoming arms here to the rest of Kaiser Tuna. He's already said hi to one. He says hi to another. Nessa goes down here. What the shot coming out here from the Divine Esports player. He's trying to land more shots there. Musate, though, will be able to get away. And Divine, are they getting hot pursuit? I can't tell.
I think Divine is just going to go for a wide sweep to limit their options, but Magic, they're going to be going through, seeing what KS is going through. It doesn't matter. They just want to plow. They're not even going to allow the Pig Six Stadium is continuing the spray in hopes to try and get a straggler down that bridge. Are they going to actually make it for the chase? No, they are not, as now Magic are going to continue over onto the other side. Hopefully, they find some solace and peace there.
Oh, yeah, and Magic Esports definitely approaching it the right way. Great hedging their risks. They're having all 4 vehicles go at the same time. Kaiser Tuna was just as though they were having an internal race amongst themselves, and the disbelief that, you know, that can't be a bridge camp this early on. And, oh, ladies and gentlemen, there's a code on your screen. Make sure you redeem it now here for a chance to get some cool PCS2 skins. First come, first serve, so make sure you redeem that in-game.
Yep, as we can see in Malta Power there, both teams are trying to hold that prime position where it's like, we don't know where the circle is going to be, but if anybody thinks that they're smart enough to go through that bridge, we're definitely going to get, like, look at the conglomeration of where everybody is. Like, there's still a few straggling teams trying to get towards the southern side, and definitely are getting gatekeep. GH being in the northern side is getting peppered constantly, but more importantly, looking over at BAE as well as the rest of the team trying to deal with TFT, not looking too great, because it is just absolute chaos. Everybody is trying to decide, should we get across the bridge? Can we get across the bridge? How many people are we willing to sacrifice?
Oh, yeah, and these are all important questions here, and a lot of teams are wanting to answer that as well. But right now, we're seeing that Battle Arena Elites is going to be sort of bridge camping even before teams get to the bridge on the eastern side, and there's still going to be Divine on the other end of that eastern bridge as well. And look at the damage. It looks like Fury actually taking back the damage lead here from Divine Esports, and Yikikamukao doing the work there. But overall, quite even contributions here from these top 4 teams.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm surprised that Fury took this particular approach. I thought they would be the first to be like, all right, we're going to go, we're going to loot, we're going to immediately start locking people off of this island, or at the very least, own ground towards the center of military base, or at least within their highlands, just so they can transition into the circle later on, depending on where it's going to be. I didn't expect them to take a more pacifist approach, where they're looking to play around the outer edge of the island after they finish looting, just to look for stragglers, just to ensure that they're the only team on the southern side of that circle.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, especially given that Fury is so tenacious and really out to take fights, and that's really reflected in the amount of damage that they did that flashed up on your screen not too long ago. And now we'll see what's going to happen from that. We're seeing the X Stadium is going to ingress towards some of these compounds, as Fury actually just seems to be, you know, going for a casual, you know, visit along that western coast side here, and I'm not too sure if they're trying to catch any of these boats that might be coming for those rotations.
Well, hey, I would expect if I ever find these guys on Tinder, the first thing I see on the description is likes long rides along the beach, and I probably swipe right on that. So far, I mean, X Stadium, they're doing a good job trying to limit them, but the question is, why is Fury there? Why is Fury being pushed back and having to go through this fire? They had priority position. They had a really good landing. They could have decided where they wanted it to be at the time, and I think they just got cut off in half as they were trying to have their long rides on the beach towards the southern side.
Could definitely be the case here, but I think they're looking for teams like we see here in the form of Day Trade. They were the winners from the previous game, but right now they're not having quite a bit of a concerted effort here as they seem to be wanting to make landfall here before the rest of the squad. Divine, they've already retracted themselves from that eastern bridge, and they're going to be holed up here on the corner of Military Base. While Battle Arena Elites, they're finally going to stop their soft camp here and move across that eastern bridge.
Yeah, I think they're confident. It's like, all right, that's the end of the team, so there's no more that we have to do left. Now we have to slowly start pushing in, and now they're playing off of the information of knowing where the second circle is going to generally be, and they can play off of the information that, hey, nobody has gone through at this point of time. We're probably the only ones here. If there's anybody else, we can just sit right at the edge of that circle towards and start gatekeeping hard. But that second circle is just going to tell everybody at Military Base, hey, all your investments is worth nothing.
Oh man, just like in week number 1, this is a big curveball by the game, and yeah, all these players should know by now to be too overzealous. I think they saw the same circle and they thought like, okay, it can't be on the ferry pier side yet again, so everyone's definitely going to be overzealous there. And now we're seeing that the teams like MSC Theathon, who rotated very late, they're going to be happy. Battle Arena leads all the way back onto the main island.
That's really, really frustrating here, but I think one of the plus points that we can take away from this is that Fury, I don't know whether they were prepared for this, but I definitely feel they were like, you know what, there's a possibility we might just get a really crappy circle, so let's just hang around towards the western side of the map. We might go through a bit of gatekeeping, but that's kind of like whatever. Now Magic Esports is going to be looking to try and take down another squad. They've already got the first pick here as they continue to blow on through. Hot Rod Flames ain't going to protect you this time as they look to peek on down. And Ulasalawi is going to be one of the few remaining as they are getting shot from every single angle. And Divine Esports Levi's, he's got a complete killing floor here in front of him. What used to be a simple 1v1 is being intervened by Levi's himself.
Oh yeah, and it looks like Divine, they don't want to be viewers from afar. They're going to get in close here, and now this could be exactly the finishing touches there onto X Stadium. They've already been doing quite a bit of work here onto Magic Esports. Look at all of them down on the ground. There's only one left here with a sliver of HP, and that is going to be it there. They get all eliminated here, as that is going to be it.
Yep, that's going to be a nice, clean sweep here, and that's plenty of points going over to Divine, taking full advantage, and we're being able to clear out both of those squads at just the perfect moment here. Unfortunately, there's no other squads relatively nearby to take full advantage except Magic Esports, so they drop down the smokes as quickly as possible, but they still have the safety of where they initially engaged from, which is the southern side of that map. The question is, are they going to commit to trying to blow through MG this time around?
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one here, but MG, they're trying to do what they can. They land 2 shots there by Tom K, and he's going to be able to take down Jen, and this might put a little bit of a stopper here for Divine. They seemingly took their time to get out here, but looks like Dian, though, he's going to be on point. He's jumping out at the right time. Tom K and Vox both out for the count.
Oh, Divine! It looks like they're going to be able to break out of this being able to take down MG in the process. They did trade. They did trade one of their members here, unfortunately, but still. Worst comes to worst, this is the best possible outcome. They're getting the kills, they're knocking out squads, they're taking full control over this western side of the circle, and now they don't really have to worry about anybody looking to third them, and more importantly, kill them at the choke.
Oh, you're absolutely right on that one. Now, we're seeing Division X Gaming. They're going for this very audacious rotation all the way through the blue zone. They did stop by Innovo, mind you, and then they cross over to the main island. So now they're really tanking a little bit of blue damage, but it's still phase 2, so it's still going to be tolerable for the time being. But now they're going to have some key decisions how they want to try and transition a little bit further. They're not within striking distance here, and now it looks like the circle is going to be shifting a little bit away from them. That's going to be influencing a lot of these other teams as well. to continue to transition because there's no guarantee it's going to prioritize land like it is now. And you can already see Victim Rise already making their move.
Yep, and we looking at Victim Rise as well, and not only just Victim, BRU's position is also really, really good. They are on the southern side of that hill. They don't really have to worry about their backs. They know that for a fact that they came from that side, that nobody is going to be there. So most of the teams are either going to be coming from the north, south, or eastern, most likely the eastern sides of the map. So with that, their back's technically against the wall. However, that prime position is going to allow them to play like they did in Game 1, where they take control over that area and slowly use their numbers advantage and kind of let the teams duke it out as they control a large part of the map.
Yeah, quite right on that one. The only thing that could be a sticking point here is just if more than one team decides to try and push into that compound. It's a little bit on the large side, so Buriram definitely will have to show their zoning capabilities here to really repel any attackers. Fury Australia, it seems as though they've been on this island the entire game here, and now only they're finally transitioning out. But they know the timing's better than anyone, given that they always drop here on Sosnovka Island. So we'll see how this goes. But look at all the wreckages that they are just driving past here. They don't want to be part of that.
Yeah, and funny enough, I mean, Fury has been just taking it real nice, real slow, letting these teams kind of fight it out, not really trying to go for picks or these big engagements as we go into the third phase. Now, I think it's their time to try and figure out a way to get into the circle, and they've done a good job so far. The question is, who is going to look back and see, oh, shucks, Fury is back there. We got to make sure that they don't get in.
Yeah, definitely not in people's best interest, you know, to keep up with that kind of bridge camping, especially with now that the circle has kind of shifted a little bit away from the western bridge, and now it's very much focused here on these southern Gatka fields, where you can already see that some teams really just even going for that small little shack, which is permanent cover, is already going to be so-called prime real estate. So now imagine how much of a little prime areas that are going to be available here for some of these teams.
Yeah, it's like, most of the time it's like open field. Like, if the circle was just nice enough to push itself over to a little bit more to the left and cover quarry as well, a lot more teams would have a lot more areas to play with, a lot of hills, plenty of places to duck between cover. But now that it's like towards Gattaca trenches, in between Gattaca trenches and farmlands, there's just so much wide open real estate. And as you said, those permanent covers will be useful as this circle gets smaller.
Yeah, they just have to see how things are going to transition a bit from now, and they have to hope that the vehicles are not going to be disabled there. I think it was Divine that we did see a bit earlier on going for some of that cover here. Now, Cerberus also mobilizing away here from the gas station side. Looks like it will be the fields here, which is going to be our next battleground.
Oh, this field, I mean, it's not looking good. There's not a lot of places to hide. You gotta be ducking, you gotta be prone most of the fights, but more importantly, let's just look at all the outer teams, KT, MSC as well, AAP, CES, as well as Fury down towards the bottom side of the map, all of them trying to get into this circle, while BAE is having the best time of their lives, investing a lot of time climbing towards the western side of the circle, and now getting that high ground as they can slowly kind of push in with the storm and not really have to worry about their backs.
Yeah, and really having that great vantage point is going to pay dividends into the later game here. But we'll see here on that southern side how Fury Australia wants to transition. They do have in the trenches the Cerberus Esports players, and they kind of know how to, you know, take a step back from being a bit too aggressive as their damage stats would suggest. But they know how to, you know, not take those disadvantageous fights here, as we could see that they would really be an uphill battle.
Yeah, and it's going to continue on to be like this for a while here until the next circle is determined as we slowly move into phase 4. Oh boy. It's going to get tough. They're going to have to wait for the circle here, and Fury are just trying, they're spread out wide, looking for any kind of loophole to try and get into the circle, because CES, they've got a grand position here from the high ground, just locking them down in place. However, Juxi, he's in the flank real nice, and he also notices the AAP is there, so very tight window for his team to try and get through into the circle.
Yeah, right now, Archangel Predator just happy to sit here on the on the edge of the zone. They will be looking to see how this is going to be transitioning a little bit later on. But now Fury going for the very quick rotation here as they want to try and loop around here in numbers. But they have been a little bit on the hasty side, I feel. And there's not a lot of spaces available inside. So likely they're going to crash into one of these compounds. Looks like it's heading right to the compound from the future. Compound, it's a shack here. And they're going to crash right in here. One roadkill already. There's going to be the trade there on the inside there. Joxy and Yikikamukau are in the fray though. Ronan is still not here. Yikikamukau is down on the ground. It's only left to one.
Oh, does he know? Does he know there's only one last member left? He comes in for it. Shiro Joxy, he's only knocked down. He goes right inside straight away. Is he gonna go for the revive? Yes, while under the cover of smoke and the firepower from literally every team looking down on what's going on down in the killing floor. But let's jump over to BAE's perspective here on what they can see on the map towards the southern side. They can see Buriram in the distance, but more importantly, Days, just in their backs as well. They've got to be super careful not to peek out too far if they want to get hit by both of those teams.
And it looks as though that BAE did take a knock already here. And Daytrade not being well aware of Buriram United. Eddie is going to take down one. He's looking for his second there. And a little bit of revenge here from game number one. But now that's going to be Battle Arena Elites. The time to get Sophia back up on his feet. And now Battle Arena Elites trying to fight this battle in a 2-2 fashion. Sophia's going to take down Noreen's now. They're going to try and push down this western flank here. See if they can squeeze the likes of Daytrade. Daytrade having to really put themselves on the wall here. But Eddie's nade is good.
It's so good. Battle Arena Elites are coming in for the kill. They already saw, they had their scouts see what exactly was going on. They got the initial pick, and now they're pushing it all through. And BRU, they're backing out of this fight. They thought they were doing a really good job in their 1v1. However, it didn't turn out well the moment BAE came in from the flank. So now they're going to, take... Fine, we don't want the points. We just want to make sure that we have the most amount of members as we are pushing into this phase 5.
Yeah, and you don't want to try and get stuck into an engagement right as the new circle has revealed itself. As you need to really reserve that time to get inside and really just try and exercise your influence on the surrounding areas. And Battle Arena Elites, they're going to be quick to get inside here on top of the hillside. They might be overlooking the Victim Rise compound here, but they're not really going to offer too much of a threat here, but they have to be worried about Buriram United. They're caught out in the cold here. They need to try and transition in, but they know the threat coming in from the Malaysian team.
Yep, and double SLRs as well, trying to use their range to their advantage. They don't really want to go in too hard, and just to make sure that nobody can really push up to them. And I think so far it's been working out great. Divine, on the other hand, they still have 3 of their members here, caught right in the middle of the field. SES is going in hard onto Fury. Look at a finish off that squad here. Oh boy, did that turn around fast.
Oh, absolutely dynamite. This shack has seen so much action. I absolutely love it. Subang, though, he will be rest here. Haisaki out for the count, though, but he's still going to get that 2-kill contribution for his team. Divine, they've been playing blackjack, I do believe, or some other form of board game, as they've been really quiet here. They haven't done anything to suggest that they want to get involved in this game. But hey, they are leading at the top of the table, so they don't have to do an awful lot with the 3 players that they still have left.
Yeah, I mean, still, they are at a 44-point lead, and I think, just playing tabletop Warhammer in a shack all by yourself for the rest of the game doesn't sound too bad of an idea, especially when Battle Arena Elites are taking most of these fights. And now Buriram United already continuing to go. Godmeow is the first to get knocked down by Liski here as Battle Arena Elites just look over the battlefield and take full advantage of their height, throwing that grenades, bombarding BRU, and there goes the grenade, getting that kill, finishing off BRU.
Oh, and another challenger coming in here as Astra was strutting their stuff here, but it looks like Sophia is going to get knocked down and punished here for overextending. Now, there's only going to be one Astra player who's left remaining here, but now Battle Arena Elites looking to try and bounce back. They still have 3 players to work with, 5 kills already on the board, and they're putting pressure onto Cerberus after they were going to be the ones that was, hampering their efforts to just really try and exert their dominance here on that southwestern side.
And I mean, so far the poking game has now begun. There's just enough squads where it's not too cluttered and no real engagements are going to be necessary. Extreme, he's just chilling by himself, hoping nobody's gonna see him, and maybe he's gonna get a higher placing, but that's only if nobody spots him down prone at the bottom of that low ground here. Now, MSC finally starting to push in towards the circle. However, it's open field here as Divine just taking their time, just chilling. They've already had, unfortunately, one of their team members got knocked down, but it doesn't mean that they can't be saved. Oh, potential roll kill, and they secure it. Extreme, he got spotted out.
Oh, absolutely. Love it here. MSC Theathon, though, they do get Janku knocked down here as Battle Arena Elites starting to try and repel the would-be attackers. The nade is good. It blows up the vehicle. Rossiter Jr. has got no chance to get out of there. Vexicon as well. Now it's only Rossiter Jr. who's... No, sorry. It's only Yoshi Mimburi that is left here in this one to try and duke it out. Battle Arena Elites, they know they want to stomp out all resistance, but there's going to be more pressure here in the form of Division X Gaming. Flank watch for Loki's is good, but only for one trade here, but the rest are going to turn around. Blood trying to do some work as well. Only one player left here for Division X, but Blood goes down as well. Now it's all up to Neferhor, but he's going to get shot in the back. Yoshi Minburi. And what are we seeing here? Bodies everywhere.
Oh my goodness, BAE is just cleaning up shop every single time, but finally, DXG finally take them out after losing quite a number of their members. Unfortunately, BAE weren't able to finish those kills, so they're not going to get those points, but at the end of the day, looking at how many that they took down in that initial push, thank God they didn't lose any more.
Oh, wow, that's quite the intense series of fights there on the southwest, but now we're just going to see Divine still surviving here on the eastern side and maybe flourishing if they can finish off Cerberus. Currently, there's only going to be Basil that is left there. Subang, he's going to be down there. Bit of help there from Victim Rise, who are still going to be in the farmhouse, but now it's looking absolutely dicey. I don't think even Basil can afford to really pick up his fallen comrade.
Yeah, there's nothing much he can really do unless he's got some utility or maybe some, more importantly, the smokes to kind of cover his tracks and hide that field of vision here. But Jan, he's doing such a great job at just putting pressure on people. They're literally shooting each other from one side of the circle to the other. High ground here still in favor of the DXG so far, but on the lower ground, MSC, they were able to save a lot of their initial members. BAE weren't able to finish them off, even though they got some really good grenade knockdowns. They're able to pick themselves up thanks to the help of DXG, who helped them out with a quick third, wiping out Battle Arena Elites, allowing them another chance at redemption.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're going to give a big thank you to Division X Gaming coming up the hill as well, give them a pat on the back. But now we're seeing Genfos is going to take down Levi's. Our current leaders only have the two players left here. Currently, DM going to tank quite a bit there. Vest is already going to be well damaged there beyond repair. But now we'll see if the rest of Victim Rise can continue to exert this map control. They have got that singular compound that's still inside, and right now they're just trying to squeeze the remaining life out of Divine Esports.
Yeah, and at this point, I think a lot of the teams are just running out of grenades, running out of utility to actually spare. So much of it has been expanded, especially for the teams on the southern side of the map. And I'm pretty sure the most well-stocked team by far right now is going to be Victim Rise, and they even have a prime position. So let's just see how this game goes.
Yeah, but it looks like Jen here, he's in trouble. Blue Zone here is going to deal the final blow, and that is about it. So we're into a top 3 scenario. MSC Theathon trying to use that as the right moment, but 2 knocks there by Fergus. He's going to take down Vexicon and Rossiter Jr. Only 2 players left. Yoshi Minburi still hiding out behind the car here. See what he can do as the smoke comes out to desperately try and get the res off. But Division X Gaming, they've got so many guns to bear. Neilty, though, he's going to get taken down by Timoy. A bit overzealous, exposing himself to the Indonesian team. And now it's going to be absolutely dicey. Does look like Division X will be able to come out on top of this one, but they're still trying to find these last 2 kills.
Yeah, and Long K, he's taking quite a bit of damage, and BK is trying to make sure that they can't get in towards this circle side. They know exactly where it's going to be. This is a prime position for Victim Rose. They've got an entire slaughter field here for themselves, but they need to deal with the team on the high ground as the rest of them. DXG is going to be cleaning up MSC so fast. This is now Victim Rose's time. He gets 5 kills in a row. That's going to clear up that squad as they fight high to low here.
Oh, Victim Rise coming out of the compound. They're going to be unleashing their whirlwind here. But no, we're going to see that Division X moving down here. Genfoss going to be able to pick him off. The fragger here for the Indonesian squad here is pumping in full force. He's going to get a second one. Long K goes down. Fergus and MBK are going to be scrambling here to try and fend off this attack here. But currently, there's going to be a crossfire. Fergus instantly gets taken down. And now there's only MBK.
Oh boy, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. MBK, the last one trying to clutch it out against VTR. He wants to secure those points for himself, but it's a 2v1 situation, and he has no way of actually getting the pickups on any of his buddies while in Division X. Oh, that's going to be a tough position to win from his VTR. Really just taking their time slow. They know they got this game in the bag.
Yeah, they just need to come out with this clutch performance here, and we can already see Chimoy here is going to be offering quite a bit of fire from back, and it might be good enough here. MBK taking a lot of damage, only 10 HP remaining. He's going to opt to go out into the blue. Victim Rise pulls away with their first win here.
Yep, really great win as well. They had a prime position, they had all the resources. They just had to let the southern teams just deal with each other, and they'll just take the spoils of war.
Oh yeah, 10 kills to boot as well. So the Indonesian team, they're going to be pretty chuffed with that one. And, you know, for one of the teams that really likes to rub shoulders with some of the higher or seemingly higher placed teams in terms of their overall prestige and accomplishments, you know, they've definitely been able to continue on with this trend, you know, and just make it incredibly difficult for everyone. But they were very reserved, I would dare say. But then again, when you have control of a compound that's got such good circle positioning, can't blame them either.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, every team that went towards the southern side got heavily punished going into military base. That just didn't work out for them. Soft bridge camping and hard bridge camping as well. Like all those points that they initially earned that felt so good, easily just been taken away the moment the circle just hovered over the northwestern side over Fier Perry. And that's it. That's when they knew, like, oh boy, this might be a mistake.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's absolute joy to watch from our perspective. Can you imagine how stressful it must have been for all of these players, especially to make the rotation over to Sosnovka Island, then have to go back? Yeah, it was an absolute nightmare. That Western Bridge, oh, definitely fun to watch there. Magic Esports definitely getting burned a little bit earlier on, but then it was X Stadium, and then it was Division X, Divine, coming in and spoiling the party.
Now, let's look at the match leaderboards here. Victim Rise going in with a total of 20 points with their first winner chicken dinner of the day. Division X Gaming following up closely with 14 points. Cerebus Esports at 11. Divide Esports at 11 as well. MSC with 8 points. Battle Arena Elites with 7. Archangel with 6. And X Stadium with 2.
Yeah, so wow, we've seen quite a bit of shakeup in the standings here as we see Bergeram only getting 2 points from this game. Astra also only, or rather Fury only able to get 2 from this as well. This is going to help make them slide a bit down. Daytrade, they started the day brightly, I would say, getting that first win of the day, but then they get a big fat 0 from this one.
Yeah, and honestly, a lot of it has to do with just the unfortunality of the circle here. The only exception being Magic, but most of the Thai squads really got hurt because they ended up on the northern side of the map, and only MSC was the one able to get in towards the circle safely, while the rest either got gatekeeped or they unfortunately had to go head-to-head with Divine Esports.
Yeah, I think Divine Esports heard us talking about their lead shrinking, and yeah, they've extended it back to even bigger than before. 48 points now, and over Buriram United, who just really couldn't get a lot going here in this game, and not a lot of changes here. But now we're seeing our damage top 5 dealers here from this match, and Flood leading the way with AA3. We did see a lot of promising plays from BAE, but unfortunately not able to come out from that sandwich situation.
Yeah, and I mean, it's super, super tough to get out of that. They have constant fights on that southern side of the map, and absolutely beautiful to watch. But Victim Rises both Genfoss and Siberit 510 to 505, followed up by DXG's Long K with 430, especially since he was being able to flank, not flank, but look to pick people off while they just weren't looking. Those quick headshots really added up.
Oh yeah, they did, and Turtle getting a nice M24 headshot right there at the expense of Kaiser Tuna, and it was going to definitely be a interesting set of circumstances as multiple teams just not having a lot of luck rotating through these bridges here, and this is of course Divine Esports trying to pounce on the situation, and of course Magic Esports not quite able to get away from this one, and from the future getting absolutely destroyed here by Fury.
Oh, that dune buggy. Oh, when it connected, you can definitely. I'm pretty sure some people just when they saw that roadkill, they kind of jerked their head back, like, "Oh, that really had to have hurt." He didn't even see it coming. He was just trying to hope to take him out. And yeah, a large theme of this entire this particular game is trying to look to play high to low, getting your vehicles in range before deploying out, and then get completely rained from above with grenades.
Oh, I love all the battles over here as BAE making full use of the high ground, but it was going to be another high ground team there that narrowly managed to come out on top there, and Division X Gaming managed to getting all the players back up, and of course MSC Theathon, that moment of respite there, not going to last long, and of course Victim Rise coming in for those finishing touches.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great nade coming in for Victim Rise. They saw, oh, one last member, everybody, they just checked the kill feed, how many people are down, let's take full advantage of it, and then they got the game in the bag. I mean, they were very confident with their capabilities. You saw them, they came out of the compound, we're like, we're going to end this right here, right now. We're not going to wait for it to end. We're not going to wait for the circle to shrink them in and play it real slow and patient. It's our time. We're going to take the advantage.
Definitely capitalizing on the right moment there, and they're going to be rewarded here. They're going to be moving up into that 6th position there, and that's going to be at expense of the likes of I think Daytrade and MSC, who are going to be a little bit ahead of them before. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, it does mean that we have reached the end of our Erangel segment. We'll be moving on to Miramar in just a few short moments, so sit tight, and we'll be back after a few minutes break here. And we'll be looking forward to bringing you match number 3. That's it for me, Play of the J, and for Gideon as well. And we'll see you in just a little bit. Hello, everybody, and welcome back here to the show. Hope you're all having a great evening, and we're here for the PUBG Continental Series 2 APAC region, and we're looking forward to getting stuck in here with match number 3. As we're moving on to Miramar, I am Play the J, he's Gideon Q, and we're going to be continuing to bring you all the action live right here.
Yeah, and so far it's been really, really great. I mean, I was expecting, more calm and collected plays, but after just that previous game in Erangel itself, that southern literal Mad Max wasteland of just cars, grenades, and bullets flying everywhere. Absolute great game so far, but I'm excited to see what Miramar is going to bring, because this is a much bigger map, so I don't expect a lot of these teams to be in that exact same situation where they're looking to get out of the choke points, and hopefully somebody is witnessing them.
Oh, yeah, and I think Erangel is always one of those maps which is going to be a little bit harder to rotate than, say, Miramar. Miramar, just because it's bigger and it has a lot more space to rotate through, it's going to usually offer a lot more options to teams, but that also means that vehicles are going to be absolutely paramount for them to really try and secure. And we saw what happened at the start of match number 2. Everyone's getting run over because they couldn't get to the vehicles fast enough.
I'm telling you, it's gonna happen again. Let's just pray that the circle is gonna be real cruel, and it's gonna be Mad Max in a very, very perfect setting here, literally in a dust bowl.
Oh, yeah, absolutely love it. And I think with these teams, that's exactly the kind of start, that's going to, put a team on edge and everything. And yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen. But before we get too stuck into it with it, ladies and gentlemen, again, big thanks here coming out to Predator PUBG Corporation. And this is all brought to you by Geek Events. We're looking forward to seeing what other awesome competitions we'll have in the future. But so far, the PCS series have been absolutely fantastic. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that you need to wait in the middle of the game here where a code will be flashed. You can stand a chance to win some awesome PCS2 skins. Seen them all myself. Look absolutely sublime. And you should get some too.
Yeah, nothing tells your opponents that you're better than them than having a sweet skin from a great event. And it's just something to smurf on people with. It's just like, oh, you died to this pretty cool skin. It's like, yeah, you should have expected it. You should have expected it. But yes, Jay, I actually want to talk about the things we should be expecting from Miramar here, because certain teams work much better in Erangel, especially, BAE for the most part. They've been performing especially well on Erangel, and I was hoping they would actually do better within these first 2 games to really rack up the points, because their Miramar overall not as good.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a bit lackluster. I mean, of course, it's a bit of a far cry from what we saw from them in the Singapore and Malaysia qualifiers. But at the same time, yeah, it hasn't translated over here to PCS2 APAC. Maybe today we'll see something a little bit different, because they've definitely had time to rethink and redo it, But hopefully it wasn't just a case of last week that, it was the first matches, in which case it should put them in good stead, that they managed to have 2 games under their belt. But yeah, we didn't see that yesterday, and hopefully we can see more of that today.
Yep, and so far the flight path is going to be cutting through just to the right of Prison and right above Torre Ahmada. And that's going to be a very nice even spread overall. Looks like the flight path didn't really mess around too much with people. So this means that a lot of teams are going to be able to get their own places for themselves. However, I'm seeing a lot of teams slowly hovering and falling down to get to El Pozo.
Oh yeah, definitely going to be seeing a lot of teams trying to continue to go to wherever they want to. El Pozo definitely going to be seeing the likes of Battle Arena Leeds drop there again. They've been pretty consistent with that one. And Yuki Kamuka already going to be getting a vehicle uncontested here. It's so different from what we saw at the start of last game, where just everyone was fighting tooth and nail for the same vehicles. But everyone has got their own space here on Miramar, it would seem. So we're not having too many incidents straight off the bat. You can already see going to have quite a nice spread. And Circle going to be rather fortuitous for most of them, I dare say.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure how many people are actually going to go out of the circle just to get for that initial loot here. Oh, wait, hold up. I just saw somebody land down. Do they want to take full advantage of this? Unless, yep, he doesn't have a gun and he didn't connect with the floor. So, unfortunately, he's going to miss out an opportunity for a roadkill there. Whew! I would be sweating in that position. It's like a shark in the water.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy who dies first in a battle royale game, you know. So it's already going to be such a bad omen, you know, for your team and whatnot. But Godmia, of course, not able to run him over just because I think he landed on the roof. It's definitely a bit of heads-up play there. But now we'll see how the rest are going to be shaking things up. Victim Rise over here, they're going to be a little bit further north of Monte Nuevo. And yeah, after getting that round win under their belts, they're going to be pretty chuffed with themselves and going to see what other places that they can take over. They're only 3 points away from BAE now, and definitely something going to be in their sights. Get more of that $200,000 prize pool.
Yep, and right now Divine is like, they've got a significant lead. They're like a literal whole division of their own. 50 points that people are trying to catch up as quickly as possible. And right now, every team under them literally are killing themselves to try to get a crack at Divine.
Yeah, exactly. They're fighting tooth and nail. Code on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you take advantage and go in-game now into your PUBG client. Make sure that you go to the gift redemption code section there. One-time use only for this, so first come first serve, and may the odds be ever in your favor.
And hopefully, you know, when you are smurfing on people, they'll be thinking, oh yeah, this guy watches PCS.
Oh
As
yeah,
the rest of the team at Division X. Yeah, and right now, okay, let's talk about Division X gaming here, because in their previous game in Erangel, they did I want to say they did relatively well, but their performances on Miramar, what should we be expecting out of them? Is this the time for them to shine? Because I feel like they've really adapted. Like, seeing their Erangel play, sure, they've definitely developed a lot better habits, a lot better plays, a lot better positionings. Does this also translate for Miramar?
I have to say that, you know, it's probably going to be a little bit... you know, hit and miss. Of course, they did get the very first win of the tournament, and that was going to be on Miramar as well. So they're going to be looking to see whether they can continue that strong form. But after that, it's been a little bit on the lackluster slide. So we'll have to see how that happens. But from the future here, they're going to be driving past Archangel Predator, and they're trying to get some Mad action going on right now.
Witness me, my brothers, is from the future. Teddy, he's looking for an opportunity to get a clear angle here onto anybody. He's just changing seat, trying to look for kills as he zooms away on his bike into the safety for the rest of his team and trying to rejoin the convoy. This is what we were talking about. We wanted to see some car warfare, guns to guns, while aback a metal steed.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it looks as though some will disembark from their steeds as they want to try and chase down Kamal. He's got no steed of his own, and he's going to have to leg it over here, but it looks like Astra, they're going to really be taking their time to go through the entire compound here, so he's going to be thanking his lucky stars as he's going to reconvene with Genfos and the rest of the crew.
Yep, also just making sure that they don't lose out to rats, you know, just people ratting it out somewhere in a corner, playing for position, hoping that they don't get found out, well, till they spring the trap and you lose 2 members just because you didn't check the rest of the compound. So I definitely understand the concern there to make sure that, you know, you clear your entire space.
Oh, definitely, and I would dare say that that is a worse fate than getting someone roadkill at the start of the game. At least that one, it was maybe a 50-50 chance of who gets to the vehicle first, right? But yeah, I think that one, you know, at this level, it's kind of going to be expected, and if someone didn't check their corner, they're never going to hear the end of it from their teammates.
Yeah, just look at them. They're covering each and every building strategically, building by building as a squad of 3, while one member stands outside just in case they see or spot anybody trying to transition, or if there was a rat, hopping through windows to get to the next building to find another hiding spot and just play ring around the rosy until they get thirded or the storm starts rolling in.
Yeah, very extreme games of hide and seek here in Miramar. So we'll see the damage, or rather the kill leaders here. Currently, Divine still leading the pack quite substantially by 30 kills. Yeah, they got 97 so far on the game here. Levi is going to be leading the majority of that. Bury Rum, though, they've weighed in quite substantially here. But now, looks like Divine is going to be adding another one. They want to try and surpass that 100 kill point threshold here in this game pretty soon.
Yep, and everybody is looking to break into it. I mean, everybody within the top 9, especially from 5th to 9th place, are getting very close to that 100 mark, to that 100-point mark. But unfortunately, for some of these members here, they got to be playing their surroundings a lot better, making sure they take full advantage of the landscape so they don't get caught out in the open here like they are right now. Kamals is going to get the pickup here, but Divine, Levi's, he's not going to let this go. He's got a mini at hand, and he is just waiting for somebody to peek him.
Well, when you're Divine and, you got the lead that you do, you can afford to be overzealous here in the early game. And not to mention that they already got circle positioning here, but now it looks like they're going right past them. And now this looks horrible. And one goes down, but the trade is there for Chibarit. And now he should be able to claim this point. But he's going to prime the smoke here first things first and see if he can get his teammate up. Currently, Divine, they're going to be a little bit too far away here. And Janda, I don't know if he's going to be in time or not.
Oh, that is so good. That is so good. Oh, wait, hold on. JN, it looks like he might be looking around the smoke, hopefully to find somebody out. He jumps out of the car, and now he's priming his grenades to hopefully pick up a free kill. And oh, is he gonna walk into it? No! Luckily, he gets that first aid off just in time before he gets chunked for a quarter of his health. And JN, he knows exactly what's going on here. He's thinking, get back into the car. Do I go for the roadkill? It looks like he can't do any more than this. He's gonna have to back away. He doesn't want to get caught in the open against the 2v1 situation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at this. There's going to be quite a bit of angles opened up here by Astra. They're going to be able to take down Chimoy here. And just as Victim Rise managed to get one of their players up, and that all started from the knock from Divine, mind you. They do in the end lose a player here, and shows how the early game can easily spiral out of control. Victim Rise have got to consider themselves a little bit lucky considering how many teams are in the near vicinity.
Yeah, and also not to mention that they flipped over their car midway. That could have been an easy double kill for Levi's there. But luckily, he was able to get those last few shots off to trade off Levi's, and the rest of his team weren't able to back them up. So far, so good. But let's look at the next circle. After Phase 1, Phase 2 looking to be towards the southern side of the map. A lot of teams are already in sight. I mean, Day is there from the future, as well as Fury, just trying to control that area, looking for a structure to be in while playing to make sure that the landscape is favorable and the mountainside is at their backs.
Oh, I love that it's going to be Chumacera. It's going to be nice and claustrophobic for all these teams, and they really have to make some key decisions. They're probably not going to be getting some of the better positions given how the circle has moved, and they're going to have to settle for maybe the higher ground where the refinery section of Chumacera is. Currently, you're going to see that Monte Nuevo here is still going to be the presence of Divine. They're slow to move out here. Battle Arena Elites already have got a little bit of a lead on them here as they're looking to try and transition as far south as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and this is only the second phase here. Not a lot of teams, a couple of teams have lost one of their members at the very least, but most of the squads are still pretty healthy. Nobody has really dedicated enough resources. And Bururam still up and running. I thought they were getting pressured from both sides, but it looks like they made it out into Picado in a safe spot, and now they are trying to get this pick off quickly as the team zooms on by. Bururam unable to capitalize on that.
Yeah, not quite able to catch the player there from Cerberus, but Kamaz is going to take down Yoshi Minburi, and yeah, that's going to be their first frag so far coming out here. Well, after the Divine engagement, that is, but now seeing that there are more rotations coming in. Victim Rise not really caring too much about their own positioning. They're just going to be opening up on these other rotations taking place, as I think they pretty much resigned themselves to be playing on the periphery compared to everyone else, as MSC Theathon, they're also going to be a little bit late to the party and just going to be currently hanging out in Monte Nuevo a little bit longer.
Yeah, it looks like Monte Nuevo is just going to be a big cross point for a lot of these teams. I mean, they're hovering over it, they're outside the skirts of it, but nobody really wants to go through it or sit in the middle of it because they're going to be pinned down by so many other teams around them, especially the teams that are just kind of sitting by Chumacera. We don't know exactly where the positions of the teams or what exactly happened with the rest of them around the area of Chumacera, but so far it's looking good. I mean, no teams and no squads have been eliminated completely just yet.
Oh, yeah. So I think they got to be thanking their lucky stars. But again, a little bit of pragmatism, I think, exercised by some of these teams, especially since the circle has shifted quite a bit here. They're just not sure who is where. So they're basically doing all of these rotations based on gut instinct. There's not a lot of prior information that they can rely on. There's not a lot of high ground that they've been able to really spot. The only thing that they can go on right now is mostly on the vehicles in rotation. But now, so Neferhor here might be able to catch out Division X Gaming and settle the score here from the previous round. But currently, they're going to be holding their angle here on that western side. And currently, he doesn't actually have the backup from the rest of the Malaysian squad anyways.
Yeah, I don't think they really want to commit too fully onto this. They can't afford to lose a member, especially so early on into this game. I mean, it's such a big map that you kind of have to wait till, zones 3 and 4 before people start hard engaging into the rest. But as you can see, MSC taking some full damage here, coming in from all 3 angles, Divide, AAP, as well as Days as well. But on the eastern side here, it's not going to be looking too good for Buriram to make it in. Day Trade continuing their engagement onto MSC, trying to make sure that they don't take control over this upper section of the structure. They've already gotten a single down. Day Trade continue to make sure using that mini pretty effectively and tossing in the grenades to try and get them off the height.
Oh, right now, it does look like Day Trade is trying to consolidate around the building here. And now it looks like Putra is here. He's going to continue to defend the building. But no, he's going to get traded down here. But now Flash is trying to live up to his name. And he's going to be able to clean them up here. But not before they go and thirst out Putra here. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Day Trade reduced down to 3 players. But again, you're definitely going to want to have that in this kind of situation. 4 kills in the bag there at MS here. Theathon's expense.
Yeah, and unfortunately, MSC is just after having a pretty decent game 2 in Erangel, didn't exactly do too well in the first game, and now starting off in Miramar again, a completely new environment. They gotta land those sprays. You got to land those sprays.
Yeah, and definitely that close quarters battle gonna be haunting them for a little bit here. But now we've seen Buriram. They're really scattered here again, coming in from that eastern side. Seems to be a ongoing trend, but of course that's all the similarity that we can draw from this. Konaxi going to be the first player to move inside the zone here and just scout out a little bit more before he decides to give the all clear to his teammates. But Battle Arena Elites, they've got the control here on the high ground western side, so they're going to be observing the movements out here from the Vietnamese team of Division X Gaming.
Actually, looking at the positions of Battle Arena Elites, they've got like a really, really good position because there's only a small cluster of structures there right next to La Drillera, right at the top there. So they actually have a full view of everybody moving out from Monte Nuevo, as well as any transition points between Trumacera. So that open area is a complete killing floor, and if they can get a couple of picks off, their positions will be rewarded. And even if they don't, they can actually go either north or south of the map, depending on where the circle is. So they've got everything going for them.
I totally agree with that, and it's kind of reminiscent from what we saw from Buriram in game number 1. They just controlled the high ground on the periphery, made sure that they didn't really have any issues on the flanks, and they're definitely going to be able to conquer with that one. And actually, that was something that Battle Arena Elites was doing in match number 2 as well. It's just that they had both Division X Gaming and also Buriram United, which then turned into MSC Theathon to worry about.
Yeah, and I mean, that game is just really unfortunate. It's just continuous fire. Like, what can you really say about it, Just everybody wanted a piece of the pie. And, as we move on into Phase 4, it looks like BAE's position is going to be rewarded. They have a full view of Divine actually coming in from the north side, looking to try and get into some kind of structure. AAP, do they not notice them coming in from the back? They can hear the convoys, and I would have been expecting them to shoot much sooner than BAE.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delayed reaction there, but Jend here, he's going to get taken down by Noreen's at range, as really just peppering the convoy there from Divine, as they're only going to be able to get 2 of their players in here. It looks as though they're losing players left, right, over the course of the game, but now Cerberus starting to push it in here into Buriram United's territory, or rather they're trying to fend off Buriram United, as now they're moving in. They have managed to deal significant damage to Cerberus, but they're giving them enough time to kind of reset from this while they're trying to get whatever utility they can through and see if they can get a lucky pick.
Yep, wait, hold on. The rest of the team is actually pulling in while the front line of Buriram United are trying to get on out, trying to find some freedom here as the picks are coming through, and they know that the storm is coming in fast, so they are quickly dipping out towards the southwestern side of the from their position, just so they can create as much distance as possible. And it looks like they might actually end up to the backs of Fury and KT.
Yeah, it could definitely work out in that way, but right now they are going to go ham. Right now, look at Fury Australia just belting forward here, looking to see can they get Musate and company. But now we're seeing that there's going to be PLs here in a lot of trouble as Astra, charging in here. He's not going to be allowed to have a free pass into that check, and they're going to be exterminating him. But Fury Australia are finally going to catch up to Musate and Kaiser Tuna. They're in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, it's not looking too great here as the rest of Buriram slowly rotating forward, and they looks like they are going to try and finish off, and that's going to be it for Cerberus Esports here as Buriram. Initially, they wanted to just get into the circle safety, but unfortunately for Cerberus Esports, they're going to be the one biting the bullet.
Yeah, and they did actually move out later from the compound there, so a little bit ill-fated there, but now we're going to see things condense a little bit more here. Halfway through zone number 4, finally Kaiser Tuna going to lose another player, and they only have one shack to really work with here, and at the very least, it's still inside the zone. Fury Australia trying to exert this dominance on that southern side currently. Division X, they've been in that crater forever, and they're really just trying to do whatever they can, but of course it is on the low ground, so there's going to be some limitation as to what they can do.
Yeah, rotating out of that right now is just, it's going to be an absolute madness here as the oh wait, hold on, looks like Buriram United is going to be shot from both sides, from both angles as they convoy around. However, there's enough teams to look at each other to try and get some attention diverted from themselves. They want to make sure they get on out, but it looks like the first has gone down off the squad. They need to drop down, can actually drop down the smoke and hope and pick up his Warriors is going to be next. Pick him up the grenade, and now a full engagement comes to right, and they try to get out of the structure, and now every team wants to get in from the future is slowly pushing up as well.
Oh my goodness, Eddie is the last player left alive, but he's fighting against 2 teams. They've taken down Astra, but now they got Game Home right in their faces. Only 2 players left here, and he's looking for the headshot. He's not going to get it. Something else is going to be able to sit him down, and they're going to be 6 feet under, as that's going to be it for the aspiring second place team. As now, looking at the circle, it's still going to be favoring Division X Gaming. Battle Arena Elites, Divine also going to be inside.
Yep, they haven't moved from their position at all, and now Fury, they hear what's going on the eastern side of the map. It's like, hey, sounds like free points, guys. Let's go have a look. So they're going to quickly move up over towards the southern side, and maybe they can collect some gold coins for themselves unless the fighting has died down. And from the future, it looks like they were able to get the full heals off. It looks like they boosted themselves as well, and maybe that's going to be enough to tell Fury, hey, these guys are ready to fight again. Let's maybe back off here, look to hold the circle, because again, Daze is very nearby off towards that northern side.
Oh, Ronan just needs to peek over the top, but that's also going to be what From the Future is waiting for. They're going to be popping up here, see if they can land the shots. Going to be able to get a few connections there, but Ronan immediately seeing how many of the players are going to be there, he's already going to toss out some nades here, dealing quite a bit of damage. From the Future going to have to lick their wounds on that one. Currently, Ronan acting as the vanguard, really doing well, and the rest of the teammates all going to be outside of that nade range.
Yeah, and they are in a very safe position because, again, I mean, only one member of Fury is under fire. The rest of them actually have a great overwatch position in case they peek. They just have to be very diligent to start taking shots and putting that suppressing fire the moment that they do, just to put fear in their hearts when they do peek so that their head doesn't get completely blown off.
Yeah, and right now, though, this is kind of going to be detrimental for both teams. Blue Zone is nipping at their heels, and they're going to have to transition right into day trade here if they're not too careful. But that's not going to stop them just now here as they're getting even closer into nade range. And now the rest of Fury Australia all going to be right in their faces here. Popping up over the top. Insight gets the first one, but Teddy's going to get the trade back onto Ronan here. And now we're seeing that going to reset a little bit. Currently, high ground advantage still to Fury Australia.
Oh, no.
They're trying to actually shoot Game Home. Game Home is going to do half the work for them.
Game Home is coming in with a great third, and From the Future can't really do anything about it except push forward into the clutches of Fury. They were able to trade off 2 for 2 so far. However, the circle is pushing in. There is nothing they can do to get him back up, so Inside is on the run.
Oh, and Kikamukau will end and settle the score here. Game Home getting eliminated, and Fury Australia going to sustain, but they lose Joxy here. They're only having 2 players left, but 6 kills already from this is not a bad return. But now things are going to get heated up. I think we did see that Archangel was taking it to the members here of Divine Esports. Currently, only Turtle is going to be the last one to sustain. There is still going to be 2 players here from Archangel, all searching for him, and currently doesn't have many places to go, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to stop this onslaught.
Oh boy, if they can just, I mean, BAE is prime position once again. They can easily just sit at their high ground, but Divine are going to continue to try and take out the rest of this squad here. Archangel, they're playing and they're jiggle peeking to the right. Unfortunately, this time, they're predicting exactly where he was going to be. Divine with 1 member left. Unfortunately, Turtle was not able to clutch this one out.
Oh, so that was a little bit unfortunate there. He did a lot of work, but yeah, there's only so much you could do in a 1v4 situation like that. But right now, there's going to be still all these teams very much centered around the creator at the moment. Division X not looking to move out anytime soon. As you mentioned, it is an absolute death trap to move out of that location here. But luckily for them, it's still going to be very much the area for immediate concern for most of these teams. They have to make a decision because their compound is not really going to be the proving ground that they need it to be for the late game.
Yep, and oh boy, we're already coming into phase 6 at this point, and every team is just looking. There isn't a lot of cover to work with here. They just have to use the landscape to their best possible efficiency, because they can't really look to rotate at this point in time without actually walking into the line of sight of literally every team left in the server at this point in time. But that crater is an absolute death hole, and everybody is just looking at the mountaintops, looking for heads to pop, looking to try and get those picks as BAE continue to control this left hemisphere of the circle. They want to take out Magic.
Oh yeah, and if they can finish off these last couple of players, that would definitely allow them to envelop a lot of the teams in the crater. Victim Rise included, only Genfos and Cheaperit who are left here to try and sustain. In the meantime, Day Trade is actually still holding this compound for the time being, just because they got such an advantage over the likes of Archangel Predator, who are just finding it absolutely treacherous to get inside the zone here. But now Victim Rise is also going to be weighing in and piling on the misery. Killa with just 1 HP left remaining.
Oh, very close shot there. That was literally inches away from his head. Oh my goodness. Looks like MG is still going to be holding their ground here pretty well, but now we can see on the southern side that DXG, they've got a really strong foothold here on the southern side, and that's just forcing a Battle Arena Elite wanting to take out the top. However, they can't really push up to it. If the moment they start moving, that's where DXG is going to start taking full advantage. So now they're stuck in a stalemate position, but they control a lot of land.
Yeah, and I think even though they're not inside the circle now, this is really difficult for Battle Arena Elites that could potentially get shot in the back if they are not mindful of the terrain here. It limits the kind of engagement that they can take against Victim Rise, but Victim Rise, I think ultimately they're just going to get sandwiched as time progresses here, but it does look like Fury Australia, they're trying to make things as difficult from Day Trade and punish them for not rotating out from this factory a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I mean, Day Trade, they've got a really good position here. They know that Fury is nearby as well, and I think they don't really have much of a choice at this point. It's really not in their hands for them to look to make this rotation, as again, we're going to be looking right over the top as Archangel and Fury trying to take each other out with Days right in Day Trade, right in the middle of it all.
Yeah, Flash trying to get a little bit closer here. He's going to use the motorbike, but now that means that 2 of them are going to be stuck here inside, focusing on the prize there. But he's going to tank quite a big headshot there, and that's going to be giving a little bit of a breather here for Vinotica. But oh, look, little do we say that actually Momonji here is going to actually be able to take him down. Day Trade only down to the 2 players, I do believe. But Battle Arena Elite's looking really good on this Miramar round. Only 3 kills, but it is all about up the territory, ladies and gentlemen. They are still trying to prevent Division X Gaming from pushing up.
Yeah, and they've got a really wide spread here. The problem is if anybody goes down, that's going to allow a team that they are covering, because each one of them are making sure that not only Daze, but MG in the back doesn't get too far. Sophia is trying to live a lot longer than she should, because this is not a very good position to be in with so many teams up on the horizon. All you can do is just go prone. Fury looking out to try and get some quick picks here, and yes, he finds one really nice onto NBK. It looks like DXG is going to be going down real quick with the Molotovs coming in from BAE.
Well, Sophia gonna get a double Molotov knock, and one of them is already killed off. And yeah, with Fury Australia helping out the Battle Arena elite players, seemingly here are gonna be able to, you know, make this assault up the hillside as a singular effort. Or no, actually, there's gonna be two of them, but it's down to one remaining player. Sophia though is gonna get flanked here by Victim Rise. Genfoss coming up over the top. Now, Battle Arena elites, they got their hands full. They have two players down on the ground. Loki's also getting risked at the moment by Flood. This is giving a little bit of a breather here for Division X Gaming as Victim Rise looking to continue to strut their stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, like, Nefera, he can't leave his position. If he does, MG is gonna push him. There's nothing they can do. The grenades are starting to come out here, and now he has to drop some Molotov just to push him out of position, because there's not a lot of cover to be working with here. If there's any more grenades, Nefera is gonna be in such a bad position. Here it comes. Does it connect? No, it does not, unfortunately. The landscape did prevent that bounce from going perfectly. And yes, he does try to find it. Unfortunately, it's going to be a pickup here for himself. Surviving with 10 HP. This is going to be a huge, huge fight and huge win for BAE as they look to close this game out.
Oh yeah, Neferhor winning the 2v1, but now they got problems here in the form of Victim Rise. They already knocked down one earlier on, but Genfoss is looking to continue to be in those top 5 charts there, as we always see. But G-Bread here, he's going to get taken from behind here. Momonji is going to say surprise, and there's not a lot that he can do. Now, Genfoss down with just a fraction of HP. He's going to have Battle Arena elites right at his doorstep, and look at that, 9 kills. Loki's going to be able to claim that 9th one right there, as he's going to look over the top here, see if he can catch any more sites there. There's not a lot of players left here in the server, and they might be able to close this out.
Oh, and there goes Fury, getting that 10 killing spree. He is going absolutely insane, but he finally goes down over to Sophia. The full squad and the full might of Battle Arena elites looking to close out this game after a convincing fight against MG. That 2v1 has netted them a winner chicken dinner.
And Battle Arena elites return to winning ways here, and this is looking like the team that we saw in week number 1, and they break their bad luck streak here on Miramar, and they're going to be able to claim their first win here of week number 2. So 13 kills to boot there, and I believe they had all players left there right at the end. They're going to be really pleased with this one, and hopefully it's going to bolster their performances in the future rounds.
Yep, they honestly they played really high risk, high reward, and they got rewarded off of a single 2v1 outplay. And honestly, had that gone exactly like if we were just putting it pure numbers, pure logic, everybody's a perfect player, they land all their shots, he shouldn't have lived there. And I think the team would start to crumble because a lot of them were very spread out apart. They were looking to try and hold teams back single-handedly, which honest to God was very, very scary to watch. Because as you saw, the moment Sophia dropped, suddenly everybody's dropping like flies, and then you're just hoping that one of them is able to outplay a team.
No, absolutely right on that one. And I think with Battle Arena elites, they love to play this this kind of expensive and very suffocating style on the opponents. But yeah, as you pointed out a few times, I think like if any of them goes down, that's really going to make sure that the House of Cards crumbles quite quickly there. But they were able to hold their nerve. Even though Sophia went down, they still managed to convert that into something positive. And it didn't even matter when they only had 3 kills and they seemingly had quite a dominant position as they just held it out through the storm, and they managed to garner their kills.
Yep, so let's have a look at that points here as Battle Arena elites finishing off this game with 23 points in the bag here with Archangel Predator, followed up just behind with 14, Fury with 11 here, 7 kill points, and Daytrade Gaming with 10, followed up by Game Home Esports with 6 points, Buriram United, Victim Rose as well, both at 6 points, and Division X Gaming at 5.
Oh, this is unfortunate for Divine. This is the first time in a while that we've seen them with 0 points on the board, and couldn't that come at a worse time for them? And considering that Battle Arena, at least the team that has stood tooth and nail in some of the earlier rounds that we saw in week number 1, is starting to get back their form. Now they're still quite far off, but again, this is going to be chipping away at the lead substantially, and as they're invariably going to break that 100-point barrier. But we'll see how much that is going to be. MSA Theathon, unfortunately, still dropping down here after starting the day strongly, finishing out yesterday strongly, in fact, as well. And could definitely be looking to do a bit better. They fall down into that second half of the table, but Divine here is still going to be in first, albeit their lead is going to be edged in here, as we already see Buriram United up to 117.
Yep, and everybody's slowly breaking into that 100-point mark. Division X, Battle Arena Elites as well. Buriram didn't exactly do too well in this particular game. However, Divine Esports, if they choke another 2 more games, and if Fury or even Buriram have just a hot streak going for them, oh boy, I can't wait for the next week then. It's going to be a lot closer then.
Oh, yeah, I could bet on that one here. But I think, yeah, this is just one very good win away from closing the gap here. And Kikamuka and Insight, they were the players lasting the longest here for the likes of Fury Australia. And again, really not holding back on taking engagements here. And of course, we're going to see Battle Arena Elites represented here by Neferhor and Loki's as well, as they're getting on the board. And Archangel, definitely one of their better performances, but still a far cry from the Archangel we know of the past.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, so far, it has to be with the consistency of their plays. Like, they can't be whiffing sprays. They got to be making sure that they are landing their shots. And I think that's what's most important, because I do think that they're very good at just positioning themselves in winning positions. We've seen it time and time again that towards the mid game, they had no casualties. They get 1 or 2 picks, if 1 or 2 picks with unfortunate. And here, the Divine Esports 2 potential 2v1 that could have gone so much worse.
Oh, absolutely. And we really saw a lot of gritty plays coming out in this particular game here. And of course, yeah, Astra really going ham there, exterminating the opposition here. Cerberus, again, just not getting it going here, is seemingly just going to be rotating right into the welcoming arms there for Buriram. But Buriram, they didn't have a lot of luck themselves. While they did exercise extreme prejudice against Astra, it was going to be the combined force of Game Home that was going to bow them out.
Yeah, and Turtle here, he's just like, every single time you see him, 1 man versus a full squad, you know that he's going to get at least 2 to maybe even 3 knockdowns. It's just the last person that you gotta worry about.
Oh, definitely 1 man, 1 mission here, but Battle Arena Elites had theirs as well, and that was to return to winning ways, and winning ways they did here, as they were going to close things out there right at the death there. And yeah, we'll be able to see them starting to catch up into the swing of things there. And I'm sure a lot of fans back home are going to be looking at this and pretty happy with them being able to bounce back from their recent form.
Yeah, and hopefully, they're going to continue this streak up, because we got 1 more game of Miramar up next, and adaptations is going to be very, very important here. They don't want to be caught in that same position playing from that Dust Bowl, because the game is not in your hands at that point.
Quite right on that one here. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will be taking a short break, and we'll have that final match of the day, which we'll be seeing who is going to be closing out week number 2, the strongest here at PCS2 APAC. I'm Play the J, he's Gideon, and we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Welcome everybody, welcome back to the PUBG Continental Series 2 APAC region with he, the man, himself, Play of the J, and with me getting you as your casters for today. And we'd love to thank Predator, our sponsor at PUBG Corporation, and not to mention Geek Events for making this all happen and put together. And so far, today's games have been pretty exciting, but the question is who's going to finish this last Miramar game strong?
Oh, absolutely. And today has been all about resurgence here. And we've been seeing a lot of the teams really rising to the challenge after having not such a great day number 3, as they'll be looking to finish out week number 2 strong. And of course, we saw in the last game, Battle Arena Elites getting back to winning ways. And they're going to be challenging again at the top of the table. And they're looking pretty good for it as well, as it was a quite... Actually, any of these performances where they're going to be able to get decent points from a game, it's quite convincing, you know. I mean, we looked at that, even though, you know, it's nail-biting stuff, you know, whether or not that they're going to be able to, you know, make do with just one person to hold one flank by himself proves to be enough, and definitely a well-measured approach by the Malaysian team.
Yeah, it was a high-risk, high-reward situation, and luckily that risk paid off, and they got rewarded with a winner-winner chicken dinner. But, I mean, for the rest of these teams, I think they're going to have to start really thinking about adapting, especially when it comes to putting themselves in positions where you kind of lose control over the game, where it's like, the game is not in my hands anymore. And I don't think teams, especially for Archangel, who was put in that exact position where it's like, I can't really do much until another team comes in to intervene, then my fate might change, and even then it's at a very slim amount. Because remember that after this day, they want to close that point lead with Divine for the upcoming week to hopefully take them over.
Oh yeah, exactly. And yeah, there's only one more match left in it today, but of course there's another 8 matches to be played the following weekend. So that is going to be exactly what's on everyone's minds. BAE back into that second position. Fury close behind them. Buriram United even closer behind them as it's heating up at the top of the table. Divine not getting things done here, and we're going to be entering our very final round of the day. Let's see whether or not that they are going to be able to get anything from this final round.
Looking at the flight path, it seems pretty neutral, cut perfectly north to south over Los Leones here. And I think for a lot of these teams, it's not going to be too big of a deal. The question is, where is the circle going to be? How many teams are going to have to be playing outer to inner?
Yeah, exactly. So right now we'll see what is going to be taking place a little bit later on. We're seeing relatively similar drop locations here, but I think for the most part, it's still going to be relatively same as always. But of course, circle is going to be a little bit different, and quite rarely on this map, you are actually going to be seeing a little bit of the playing area going to be unplayable.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting, because for once I'm kind of interested to see how teams are going to take fights at La Bendita, which is a very interesting killing floor, having a landscape with a crater surrounding this town. So a lot of teams can get shot in the back from the outside while they maintain control from the inside.
Yeah, so Battle Arena Elites all going to have vehicles working on all cylinders at the moment, and they're going to be continuing onwards to their usual looting location, El Pozo. And not going to really matter too much that the circle is going to be all the way on that eastern side, because, again, these are the factors that you take into account whenever you know, you're going to be designating a particular location as your spot, you know, so it's definitely going to be okay for them. I do imagine that they will go for a very northerly rotation on the edge of the map later on.
Yeah, and so far, a lot of these teams, again, nice big map, nice places to loot. They just got to keep aware. And I think situational awareness comes in sorry, not situational awareness, but scouting becomes very, very important in Miramar. With Erangel, if you have position, you can usually just kind of get a vantage point and get a good idea of where people are coming from based on the sounds. However, for Miramar, with the way the landscape is and the size of it, visuals isn't enough. You're going to have to send the scout out there to get full information so you know how to rotate in towards the circle, or at the very least, cut off your opponents from getting in the circle.
Yeah, all going to be valid options for a lot of these teams. Of course, trying to cut off opponents, you have to be reasonably certain that you can, come away with that, because I think we already know that these guys are the cream of the crop from their respective countries, so they don't really want to necessarily put that to the test as you might get in, say, some of the domestic competitions. But ladies and gentlemen, there is a code on your screen right now. Make sure you redeem it as fast as you can to get some dope PS2 skins. Only first come, first serve basis works here, so make sure that you are quick to enter this into your PUBG client. And yeah, may the best or the fastest person win.
Yep. It's just its own little battle royale in itself. The moment one of those codes come up, not that anybody needs to see it, but it feels good once you locked it in. You just know that you're the winner of it all.
Oh yeah, I definitely would like to get some of that, but now we'll see how things are going to be descending into a little bit more of aggression here in this game, and we're going to see the first shots being taken by Yikikamukao. There's going to be Jen and the rest of Divine going to be very close to them, and it's going to be a little bit awkward here as it seemingly looks as though that they're willing to take the fight inside, going to pile into the compound here. Not really sure how much information that they do have here, but in the meantime, Levi's here is actually going to be able to take one of the From the Future players. Divine being absolutely stretched right now. They're actually bugging out here, running away from Fury.
No way! This is a very interesting way. They're going for the chase, and they're still chasing. Fury could get back into their convoy, and look at this again with Divine coming in really hard onto FDM as they look for their first initial kill. He finds one, he peeks again, getting both of them. Turtle still got it, but now Levi's and JN here. Unfortunately, they lose two of their teammates, but they got to finish From the Future right here, right now. They can't let this stand with a team that they've been chasing for so long, and you can just see the scouts from Fury slowly creeping up as finally they are able to secure and eliminate From the Future. Now the second problem does occur. Fury, the Aussie team coming in from down under, they can smell the blood and the free points in the bank.
Oh yeah, they're not going to let this one get away from them. What a play coming out here from Divine. If they didn't bring the other two players over, for sure, they would have met their end very quickly. But now they have at least a chance. They have two players left here to try and repel against Fury. Fury Australia not wanting to let them go. They know that this is a proverbial six-pointer, as we would say in football terms. But yeah, now they are out for blood. They know who is here, so they're out to get the leaders and see if they can catch up to them in the standings.
Yeah, they have to pick them off straight away because Divine, they've already lost two, and JN, he's trying his best. He already got the initial knockdown here. He has no time, he's pretty healthy still with 67 HP here. With the rest of his team playing tight angles, holding both doors, but unfortunately, that's gonna be Divine as Fury looks to push in. They weren't able to thirst any of those kills, so Fury, once they pick up their buddies, Juxi, as well as Insight, they're gonna be back to full strength.
This is going to blow things wide open. Fury Australia stepping up here. They are looking to try and take this PCS2. And they're taking matters into their own hands, And with that, Divine, they're only going to get the points there for the one squad eliminated in the form of From the Future. But yeah, everyone is going to be looking at the kill feed and knowing that this is their time to shine. But let's see who is going to be able to rise to the challenge.
Yeah, this is huge. Like, even the top four teams between Battle Arena Elites, Fury, Buriram United, all of them, they see the kill feed, they know exactly what they have to do. Now, I would hope that they start to get more aggressive here, or at the either more aggressive or more passive, because you could technically play for positional points and still close that gap, especially if you are a Battle Arena Elites in Fury and Fury. Those points are going to be so crucial to bringing them up to at least 130, and then it feels like it's doable in the following week to try and overtake Divine.
And let's not forget, like what I was saying a little bit earlier in this evening's show, that Divine, in the past, either they were complete blowout performances where they just really took everything all by itself, just with a few good, strong performances. But other times, after getting the lead and getting quite a substantial one at that, they seem to taper off a little bit in their performance. Now, I wouldn't say that looking at Divine today, that is necessarily happening. but they have unfortunate set of circumstances that, you know, make it very difficult for any team to be able to escape from the fate that they have been subjected to. They've still been getting the kills, but they've just not been able to sustain into the later stages.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a pretty good third coming in for Fury, and Fury took full advantage of it. I would expect no less from any other team. Oh, but now Game Home, he's going to be coming in pretty hard here as Archangel. He sees the 2 down. He's going to thirst both of those kills here, but he's looking for the other 2 members of Archangel. Where did they go? As Gamehouse Esports going to go for that quick loot as they've taken out 2 stragglers here, as the rest of Archangel is going to rotate out.
Yeah, Archangel going to have to lick their wounds after that engagement right there. And we'll see how things are developing a little bit more. It looks like Circle's going to shift all the way up north here. Division X is going to be laughing all their way to the bank here, it would seem, as everyone else is going to be having quite a substantially difficult rotation, I dare say.
Yeah, and oh wow, actually I just oh my god, I completely forgot that this was only moving in towards the second phase, and we already have lost 2 squads in the process. I mean, for the earlier parts of the day, it's like people playing more conservative, they would only drop maybe 1 or 2 people in their squad, but losing entire squads while still getting picks, I mean, this phase 1 has been pretty bloody overall.
Oh yeah, and well, it's been absolutely delicious for everyone sitting at home, and especially if you're a neutral. But yeah, I mean, we did see some of those great early team fights, and looking for more. Oh no, this is not what you want to have happen. As Insight, he's gonna have to get a little bit of a pickup from his team members after he's flipped his own Muradu by mistake.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what happens. That's just what happens. There's nothing much you can really do about it. Once it happens, you kind of just have to accept it and hope that your buddy has a vehicle that you can hop on in. Now, Kikikamonkao is making sure that he is keeping that pressure on anybody trying to rotate out. At this point of time, Fury can't afford to lose any of their members. They should be playing for picks, playing for positions. Unless they're in it to win it, they can go hyper-aggressive if they want to, but there's still 13 teams out there out to get them, so the chances of getting thirded or maybe even 4th is just way too high.
Yeah, I think the name of the game here is definitely just going to continue to focus on getting a good circle positioning and really just try and exert your influence on the game from there. But we're seeing that the likes of Buriram, after having some rocky performances in the last couple of rounds, is actually taking things nice and slowly. There's going to have to be a pickup here onto Extreme as Astra looking to consolidate their numbers, but no one around here. I'm not sure if it was a long way shot. And no, we're seeing another flip vehicle by Fury Australia. Is this a coincidence?
No, they just like to tell their opponents, don't worry, didn't need these cars to beat you anyways. As Fury, Coronon, he's going in onto the right, onto the wall to the right side of the structure, trying to make sure that Star can't really cover that angle, because they know that Yukimukao, if they start peeking now, they're gonna start dropping heads. So Yukimukao, he's gonna be safe for now. However, he's just waiting for his team to get into prime position before he starts peeking out again, because he himself is in a compromised position.
Yeah, and currently Astra, they're going to still be holding the fort as much as they can. Right now, they don't have a lot of angles to work with. Currently, Fury just trying to abuse that as much as they can. Sophia trying to land some of the shots there from the high ground. Not going to be able to do all that much here. And really just going to have to continue to be resourceful as they continue to look out. Currently, just going to be a bit of a standstill. Not sure if they want to use a lot of utility to get Yike Kumuka out of harm's way, but there could be the other 3 players all rotating around the side to see if they can flank Astra.
Yeah, I don't think they really want to take the risk of going into close combat with the enemy team at this point of time, because, I mean, it does sound pretty okay to go in, maybe, you know, trade one for one, and eventually win the numbers game with Yuki Kumukao peeking at the last second just to catch anybody off in transition. But again, that's just a very, very big risk, because then you're going to be having to revive maybe 2 to 3 of your squad mates and hoping that a team doesn't come rolling by.
Yeah, and going to be a very difficult proposition now. It does look like it's going to be fairly neutral here for most of the teams this next circle, but Buriram, they're going to fancy their chances. But this is going to be at least slightly fortunate that the positioning here for Fury is still in the zone, but they're pushing up here. They're going to see what can they make do of their fellow Oceanic team. Currently, Yukimukao is going to get the the pick here onto Zoidmate from a distance. Well, the rest of them are moving in close quarters right now. Ronan is going to get the second pick here. Now they're looking for a third. Right now, it's not going to happen for Ronan, but Joxy is there to follow up here as fast as possible. While there's no chance to reset. Extreme, though, he's going to get insight, but that is going to be it, as Joxy is going to claim that last one here, and Fury have managed to come out from that guns blazing.
Yeah, and that pick from Muka was so huge for the team. That covered like that took an entire angle off of the team, allowing the rest of Fury to actually start pushing in and contest the stairs and contest the height of that structure. As Battle Arena Elites, they've got high ground here onto Magic. They gotta be careful. No, Sophia, you better not drop down now. This is your prime position. As now she gets the initial knockdown. Run away from the grenade, and yes, he is alive, and they're making sure that Magic is paying the price, just being under them, very literally under them.
Oh yeah, here the Minas Cinderella side of things here is not being very fortunate to them at all, as MU, MA, and Valks are seemingly going to be in a difficult spot here, trying to decide what to do. MU, MA is actually moving in a little bit closer to C. Can he get the res off? Currently, he's at by Sulabi already. The angle not available to Battle Arena Elites to really capitalize on this, but Valks, he's going to get spotted out, and they're going to continue to see, can they tuck him inside? But now they spotted out what's going on. Sophia taking a bit too much in the way of poke damage here. It's not going to be able to seal the deal.
Yep, and now it's just gonna be this awkward position where they're just pinned down. Emu is just completely pinned down. There's nothing much he can do. He gets the revive onto Tonke here. The grenade absolutely misses, but they can't move out from that position as long as BAE are holding that angle. And the moment they get the information, yes, they can start moving away. And you can see the transition moving from that side, from the left side of that hill towards the northern side of the map. And it looks like they have information that it is somewhat clear, or nope, looks like they are just going to go into the zone.
Yeah, so they're really going for this roundabout way here to see if they can get find the greener pastures here into phase number 4. But we'll see how it's going to be looking a little bit later on. But I think, yeah, they don't want to get too stuck into that very entrenched battle with the likes of Magic Esports. And they could actually go for a little bit of faster rotations, but they know that the Minas Generales team is there, so that could be a bit dicey if they go for a direct rotation here. But now we're going to see more teams coming out with it. This is already going to be the mid game here, and now we're going to see that this is going to be absolutely constricting tons of the space available to absolutely nothing at all.
Oh boy, and we can already see Battle Arena Elites. I mean, they did it last game. They spread out, they exert their influence. They made sure that each person is trying to hold down their own angles to allow them to get that information. But not only that, to maintain some kind of order and control over their own territory. Like you can see Sophia very clearly away from the team, but he is making sure that he is keeping track of where MG is going to be. If MG looks to try and take this position, oh no, don't die. Okay, thank God. If he doesn't actually move from that position, then at least he can tell his teammates, hey, Magic is pushing up, I can get on out of here, but you gotta cover me.
Oh yeah, and that coordination is going to be important. Look at the coordination here, though, from Kaiser Tuna. They're all going to be convoying, but we know that it doesn't always end all perfectly for them, as we did see in Erangel, I do believe. But now they're heading straight for the hill that currently Burium is occupying. But they might not go all the way that far. They're actually going to careen over here to the right side, but they're still taking sustained fire here from X Stadium. Luckily for them, it's not going to be to their detriment just yet, but now Burium has got them on their radar and might be trying to take a little few of the pot shots that do become available.
Yep, and now they're going to continue for... Oh, wait, hold on. They're falling into the clutches of Fury here. They know exactly what's happening as they slowly pull on up. They know who they're in between. They got shot from Buram, so they know their position. However, I'm pretty sure that they visually spotted out Fury as they walked up on the hill and now are dropping smokes to try and cover their angles so they don't get shot in the back.
Oh, and look at this township here. It's going to be the center of battle here for a 3-team service, already facing the pressure here from fellow Vietnamese team Game Home. But now we got Magic Esports moving in. They lose 2 players there, and it's going to be the nade from something else coming out. Big Bucks, though, is actually going to knock himself over here. That's so unfortunate. Something else's nade, follow-up nade, is going to be able to finish him off. And now I don't even know why these guys are fighting over this piece of land that's not even inside the zone.
It's not even worth it. They're just trying to help, and everybody's picking them apart. I mean, Buriram as well as Battle Arena Elites are looking down, and this is like, what's going on? It looks like an absolute farm fest here. Let's play.
Oh yeah, they're absolutely being busybodies right now and wanting to get in on the action, as we did see that Battle Arena Elite's able to secure a point there, but now looks like everyone else is being cleaned up. Cerberus Esports has already been ejected from this game, but now we'll see that Buriram United spotting out who are going to be the survivors here in the form of Game Home. They're trying to make a run for it, but I'm not sure what they can do. Magic, they've got no angles left available to them. Sophia's going to take down one, and there's only going to be a couple of these players that's left.
Yeah, there's literally nothing they can do. They just have to wait for some other team to intervene. At least they don't have to worry about the northern side, as BAE is now coming into very close combat with Division X Gaming here. However, Magic is going to be following into the back of the footsteps of GH here as they go into the circle, and that's gonna be the squad here, as now we look back over to Division Gaming in their bout to try their scout trying to hold his ground against the rest of Battle Arena Elites, who isn't looking in the right direction. Oh no, that's gonna be Loki's the first to go down, and now he has brought the attention of the rest of the Battle Arena Elites to be looking down. We gotta take Divinity X Gaming.
Oh yeah, this could be another reprisal of that fight that we saw all the way from Erangel. This is the chance here to get a little bit of revenge. Division X Gaming, though, will strike first. They are looking to try and get another pick here, toss up a couple more nades if they can. Sophia currently has made all the way down onto this left side here, so he might be able to get a valued pick there. He's waiting for the right moment. They're currently still busy tossing out any utilities, see if they can get another pick to get sustained in this fight, but Sophia will be looking to strike at the right moment as the vanguard.
Yep, they are trying to hold that high ground here, and it's doing really well for them. They're pushing the Division X Gaming back here, and they're doing a very good job because right now nobody has the time or the attention to actually make it happen. Fury looking down onto KT, trying to get some free picks. They could thirst these kills real quick for himself, but he's got to be careful. He's dropping down the utility to make sure that they're not going to get shot into the left side of that flank, and I don't know how long this is going to go, but it looks like everyone wants to be part of this on the southern side of the map.
Oh, Kaiser Tuna, though, is in such a bad spot. They only have one player left here. And Fury Australia, they've lost two players here. They're going to lose another one. Yikakamukau, though, will finally put the finishing touches. But at what cost, though? He is the last player here for Fury Australia. Now, Battle Arena Elites, they only have two players left standing here. Neferhor seemingly out of reach for any resurrection efforts, but it's going to be the survival that Battle Arena Elites keeps ultimately in focus here, and not wanting to really take this unnecessary fight against Division X Gaming, where they're seemingly not facing or having the better of it.
I'm thinking here that Fury is going all or nothing on this. I mean, even taking on that last fight didn't seem too much of a smart move, especially from their position, looking at the map and how many squads were in the area. But I do think that they just want to play for as many kills as possible, knowing that Divine Gaming has already bowed out so early on into the game. Look at their points, 123 to 158, and they're going to keep on climbing on here while BAE are playing the long game, looking to hope to get maybe 7 to 8 more kills towards that final circle.
It's going to be a tall order, considering that Division X Gaming is knocking on their doorstep right now, and there's only going to be Flood and Neferhor there. Sophia permanently focusing his attention on that south side, but looks as though Buriram is coming in, and it's actually going to be Nielsi here who's going to be able to seal that knock there. Flood not doing a lot here to really fend them off, but he's taking quite a bit of damage himself. But now, looks like Neferhor here, he's going to be taken down by NBK, and Konaxi is actually going to steal that away. Division X is looking to finish this off right now. Flood, nowhere to go. He's in so much trouble right now. He's able to land some shots, but it's not a lot, and that's it for Battle Arena Elites. Not able to get a second consecutive impressive points haul from this.
Yeah, all right. So that's going to be Battle Arena Elites. Unfortunately, their long-term investment didn't pay off, with finally their backs getting exposed straight away to Division X Gaming. But Buriram, on the other hand, looking pretty strong. I mean, they've taken a large amount of area. They have an entire town to themselves. They see Game Home slowly pushing up, and now they are turning their attention to make sure that they can't get into the circle as they are running away from the storm.
Yeah, and look at the winding and weaving is not going to do a whole lot when you got so many bullets in the magazine there for Eddie. And he's going to be finishing off these two members of Game Home who have, seemingly been running from cover to cover this entire game, and it's not worked out too well, but they're still in it for now. But now we'll look and see how the rest are going to be duking it out. Buriram still putting pressure on the surrounding areas. It's not just going to be Game Home that's going to be facing the brunt of their aggression, I dare say.
Yeah, and again, they're just making sure they're playing a nice slow game. They're going to play for picks. They're going to play for position. They know that the leading team, Divine, is already down. So at this point, every single squad that bows out of this particular game is going to be extra points to close that distance. So they're not going to make too many rash moves. I mean, look at their scout here, as Godmeow is making sure that he is getting constant information for the team inside the circle, so they at least know how to cover him, which angles to take control of.
Yeah, and this is really planning things out for the later stages, like where the other teams are currently positioned, and also how they're going to be able to transition themselves depending on where Phase 7 is going to be heading to. But now, Kikikomukao, he's got problems here. It's going to be MSC Theathon starting to transition a little bit in from that northeastern side, though I don't think that they're going to be too overzealous here trying to move into territory. Since they got 4 players, they will be looking to see, do they need to take any special positioning in respect to other teams. Currently, Day Trade is under that pressure from X Stadium, but they might be able to spot them out as well if they do move down towards that south side.
Yep. Oh boy. I mean, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. This next circle coming in for Phase 7. Ooh, not too favorable for anyone. It just becomes a little bit more centralized, a little bit down towards the south, ever so lightly. But that is going to force Division X Gaming to slowly move down from their high ground. But the only person who's really going to get punished by that is Buriram United. So both of those teams are going to have to duke it out before getting into the circle.
Yeah, but they don't seem to be sweating the small stuff right now. They did take down one of the X-Stadium players, and they're heading all the way down south here, looking to see, can they take the fight here if they so choose to? But there's still going to be 3 players by the time that they manage to bring all guns to bear. That might be a little bit more of a difficult prospect, but maybe a bit better than the northern side where we got Division X Gaming.
Well, Day Trade, it looks like they are going for that engagement against MSC right now. They've already got the first trade off. Even though they are 1 member down, they are still making the best of the situation. Are they going to thirst the kill? It looks like they're looking for where his buddies are before they thirst it. And yep, there goes the thirst. And now they're going to continue to start pushing more. Fury here on the other end of the spectrum, looking to try and get some free kills. And yes, that's going to be a great grenade there, allowing to explode that car, making sure that they can get that kill. A little bit too far on that one, but eventually he will get it.
Oh yeah, not able to seal the deal there, but yeah, we'll see how that translates later. Eddie, though, is going to be able to land the shots onto Marcus, and now he's going to be eating dirt as he waits for his team members, but he gets a second one. Goktan goes down as well, but Noreen's, he's going to put the finishing touches there for Day Trade, as that is going to be X Stadium out for the count. But Day Trade, they got bigger problems, and it's going to be MSC Theathon. They're pushing into the lines here, but Division X Gaming is not even giving them any room to breathe at all. Now Fergus coming up over the top. He's going to land the shots there. Yoshi Mimburi, though, he's going to take down Putris, and Day Trade in a flash is going to be taken out.
Yep, so quickly already towards this Phase 7 here. Oh my goodness, unfortunately, that's going to be a very quick knockdown there on to Yoshi as well as Locke, finishing off the rest of the squad. But DXG, they just got to pick up their last member, get themselves into full strength, because BRU, they know that they're clear. They're slowly pushing up towards high ground, and Yuki Kamukao, he is in a terrible position with 2 teams there. He's got to figure out a way to survive just a little bit longer, or hide long enough so that BRU takes out the squad.
Oh man, he is in the middle of no man's land between these 2 teams, and yeah, it might be actually the safest place that he could be until Godmeow spots him out invariably, but he's actually got a little bit more of natural cover going for him. I can't believe that. Yeah, he hasn't been spotted out yet, but I mean, of course, you know, that's for him to continue to try and sustain as long as he can. He's getting a lot of placement points just from sustaining here, and might be able to get a win in the fashion that MSC did get their first win, where he stole it right at the end.
No way, no way. He's still alive and nobody has spotted him out. He is just hiding right by his car. He's getting back into his vehicle here. Hopefully that doesn't, spark too much interest between the two squads, between BRU and Division X Gaming. I've been saying their name wrong in the entire day, but I'm finally getting the hang of it as Division X Gaming slowly start pushing up on towards BRU side. They've got high ground, so they got to make sure they see him. Oh, they don't notice him. He's going in for a huge flag here. He's got one. He's trying to get one, but unfortunately, the bullets just do not connect. Eddie already getting started up with the headshot versus the kill as DXG's MBK is going to be taking out Yuki Kamukao. Unfortunately, he won't make it through, but Buriram, now they've got to deal with one last problem, and that is going to be DXG to get this win.
Oh, there's only one player left. Neil T is the last player left, but he's got nowhere left to go. And that is going to be it. Buriram is going to be able to clean house as they're going to be able to claim another win. And it looked as though it wasn't going to happen for a second there. But I think Fergus, he made a mistake. He went a bit too overzealous over the top there and not prepared to deal with all the guns to bear.
Yeah, and unfortunately, just a missed opportunity to actually land that spray did cost him his life. And at the end of the day, people who are able to perform a little bit more consistently will definitely push out ahead. However, that distance that we were talking about since the beginning of the day has shrunk significantly as a lot of teams have caught up, while Divine, even though they did have one or two really good games to get some high positional points, haven't been able to extend the lead to at least 170 points. They are still maintaining around 150, while everybody else has finally broken up, especially within the top three at 120 points plus.
Yeah, and Divine just really dropping the ball here on this final day, letting everyone in. But it wasn't, I wouldn't dare say that it was all their fault or anything, as we did see in the very last game. Fury Australia taking matters into their own hand. They were actually out there looking for them, and they actually followed Divine. So Divine, they survived the fight from the future, managed to finish them off, albeit they did lose two of their players, but they got absolutely slaughtered there as Fury Australia just crashed in there. And Fury Australia, though they only had one player right at the end, managed to get that third placement point, and at the same time, 10 kills to boot.
And it's looking really, really good. Buriram United coming off with 19 points with Fury 15. Division X Gaming, 12 points. Day Trade Gaming with 9. Followed up by Gamehouse and MSC Theraton, both at 9. Divine Esports X Stadium at 4 points. And I mean, honestly, I was really expecting Battle Arena Elites to actually do a lot better, but unfortunately, they weren't able to make it into that top 8 to get those placement points. They did get 2 points, but imagine what it could have been for their team, for their overall standing.
Yeah, the battle there with Division X Gaming didn't really work out in their favor, and they got punished in the end by not getting enough points. But Divine Esports, their lead is starting to shrink. It's only at 27 points. It's still going to be basically one good win away. And let's not forget that Buriram United, while they move into the second position, Fury Australia is right behind them, 3 points behind. Battle Arena Elites, they're not that out of it as well. And, with 8 games left to play, I fancy any of these teams who show up on the ball when it comes to day numbers 5 and 6. They're going to be able to really challenge Divine Esports. Let's not forget Division X Gaming also going to be there with 118 points.
I have to admit, the top four teams, it's okay. We kind of expected them to get, a decent amount of points. Sometimes they drop the ball, sometimes they don't. And today, and even the day before, a lot of the teams from, 5th place and below really are stepping up their game. They are less afraid to take on these bigger teams, these high scoring teams, and actually put a lot of hurt into them, like we did see with the Divine Esports fight against From the Future, because again, they lost 2 members in the process. Had they not, and this been a really clean kill for Divine, I think it would have been a very easy decision for Fury to play from afar. They don't have to hard engage this.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, they definitely took the initiative there, and they also took out their fellow Oceania team as well. So they're going to collect a lot of their kill points in that process. But now, Battle Arena, at least they did have the intent there. They went ham on the competition, but we did see that they weren't going to be able to push through towards the end here. Day Trade also not able to build on the very first win of the day that they had, as things got just a little bit too congested.
Yep. And I mean, honestly, this circle was pretty annoying because there was just nothing you could really work with. You're hoping that the landscape will be nice, but it's an absolute killing floor. You're hoping for some kind of vegetation to hide behind, some kind of broken car or structure. But in most of the situation, it's just like I felt like I was watching Schindler's List for like half of the movie. Just half of the movie just playing before my eyes before finally it was like, okay, it's the last couple of squads. Like, gatekeeping is finally done. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I totally know what you mean there. And damage, yeah, no surprise to see Yikiko Mukau here again. He is really carrying his team in that regard. MBK, though, he's been having a good game here. And again, a lot of Thai representation here from Venautica, Noradra, and Eddie, as of course, Buriram still able to claim the spoils of war here in our very final match. And yeah, I think it's interesting to see they've always had like 1 or 2 strong performances per day, so they've always been in the contention here for the top spot.
Yeah, and I mean, overall, I would have expected Buriram's damage to be a little bit higher. I'm pretty surprised with how much damage Yikiko Mukau really has by himself. Like, none of his other teammates are there with him in that situation. But now looking at the overall damage to top 5, he's got even more to spare. Even more spare for his team as well, as we see both BRU Day as well as BAE up on the board. In second place is going to be Flood, Nefuhor, as well his teammate at 4th. Finally, Eddie from Buriram United in 3rd, with Venautica at 5th.
Yeah, so some huge, heavy hitters here. When we just look at the total damage just from one day, it has definitely been a good one for the likes of Fury Australia, BAE, Buriram United, and Daytrade as well. You know, I mean, they've all had their moments here today, and they've been able to really cut the lead down there from Divine. They're going to be kicking themselves for really letting these teams outdo them here in this final day. And let's look at the top killers for today. Venautica leading the way with the 13. Eddie is going to be chiming in with the 12. And yeah, unfortunately, not enough heroics there to win the very first round, where we did see him in the 1v3 situation. Nefuhor and something else, both going to have 9 kills. Yikiko Mukau, for all the damage he's done, he's only going to get 8 kills, unfortunately.
Well, he's not a finisher. This guy is a man who just finds the picks, gets those really quick knockdowns at the toughest of angles, and then allows the rest of his team to get that advantage and pushing through. We saw, even when Yikiko Mukau was put in the most tightest of positions, literally lying prone on the sand in the dirt in front of him, with a car broken right in front of him, getting pressured by 3 people looking over his shoulder. With the help of his team, he found that initial pick and allowed them to clean up that squad almost instantaneously once he did. So, I mean, in his own right, he's an absolute beast.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, you know, with that particular engagement, it all started because Yikiko Mukau had flipped his car right in front of Astra. And it was only just that he was going to be the one to be able to get the advantage here in that fight against the Oceania team. And yeah, I mean, we've seen some awesome plays coming out for the final day of week number 2. But I think the stage is so well set here for our very final weekend. We see so many challenges. Gideon, who do you think will be able to rise to the challenge in the final week? Is there going to be a team that you have your eye on that really has caught it?
I mean, I don't want to be too biased here, but I don't want to be too biased here, but I definitely think that Battle Arena Elites definitely have a good opportunity. However, seeing the performances of BRU and Fury, it's some really tough competition. Fury especially, because some of their clutch plays are pretty exceptional, especially when you have Yikiko Mukau on that team. But BRU, on the other hand, those guys are very consistent with the way that they play. And it's working out really nice. The question is whether Divine is going to be dropping the ball in these next 8 games or so next week.
Oh, yeah, and I think Divine might be feeling a little bit hot under the collar, and quite rightly so, because a lot of teams here, they're not fazed by that points difference, and if anything, that has given a little bit more incentive for these teams to really crank out the performances when they really matter, you know, and that's the high pressure situation that we're currently in, you know. And I think, you know, especially on this setting, you know, again, we just have to thank our sponsors, you know, Predator, this is PUBG Corporation. And of course, this is all brought to you by Geek Events. You know, they're giving us the platform here to really see the region's best, really duke it out here in PCS2 APAC. And I know I, for one, looking forward absolutely to next week. And Gideon, do you have any final words here before we sign up for this evening?
Well, it's been an exciting day of games. I wasn't expecting it to be as Mad Maxy as it was. I thought it was going to be a lot more controlled, but I'm very, very happy to pull out those references when necessary. So yeah, it's been an absolutely phenomenal week.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. It's been a blast hosting you, and we're looking forward to our final 2 days of competition. So we'll be back next weekend, same time, same place, and we're looking forward to these final 8 matches coming here for PCS2 APAC. I'm Player J, he's Gideon Q, and we'll see you in the coming weekend.